Welcome to Meadowbrook Memories Podcast. I am Jelly, otherwise known as Glacier Prince, and my co-host is Hitchcock, otherwise known as Alfred Henry. Our mission on this podcast series is to explore the stories behind the magic that was created at Meadowbrook. When over a span of 4 years, between 1982 and 1986, we saw the transformation of a small co-educational school with less than 1,200 students, 800 boys, 800 girls and 400 boys into a successful sports and scholastic champion, winning 7 major trophies, 3 Sunlight Cup, 2 Topping Cup, 1 Walker Cup, and 1 Nutriment Shield. And to crown these achievements, Meadowbrook also produced 2 Rhodes Scholars, Cavell Creighton in 1987 and Andrea Wright in 1989, both graduates of Meadowbrook in 1983. In this podcast series, we'll be speaking to persons, both male and female, who are actively involved in this incredible journey, along with friends and staff at Meadowbrook, which inspired the environment which created this golden era. We hope you enjoy our discussion. Please give us as much support and encouragement as you can on whatever social media platform you are listening. Welcome and thanks for joining us. Ready? Alright, I'm ready, go. Today is Sunday, May 29, 2022. Welcome back to Conversation number 18 and Meadowbrook Memories Podcast. Me, as usual, Jelly, or as no fun know me as Prince, or Glacier, or Lance. And as you know, any one of them names they will do for you. And join me back again this week. And my co-host who, once we call him, I'm ready. None other than, him never need an introduction, as I may say, him never need a proper introduction, but none other than Dante or Tegre, Donovan Thomas there as my co-host. On the line this week, you know, with a very special guest. For me, personally, because this is one of the first time I'm going to a podcast or a conversation. I don't know the man personally that much. I look forward to this guy. This is all about Meadowbrook and memories. And Tegre come up and film conversation and tell me about Shane. I'm saying, who the Shane? I need to know who the Shane. I'm saying, I bring on Shane to come give him story. And all me can think in my mind say, if this man and Tegre a friend, I need to hear him story because Tegre a big, as them say, proper. I don't even have to say nothing more about Tegre because everybody know this man. So, Shane come on Meadowbrook at the same time as Tegre 1979.
No, him come a year before.
I was a year before.
78. 78. Okay. Cool.
No, I was actually 79.
79, right?
And Tegre was 1980.
So, okay. Well, I'll get into that. So, welcome. As me say, any friend of Tegre is a friend of Meadowbrook. And from here, I talk to another Meadowbrook man, straight up Mr. Meadowbrook himself got see a bit today, and I say, yeah man, Shane and boy. See me say to you, so you come well highly recommended my brother, and I say, welcome Mr. Shane Clarke and Dante, introduce yourself, and then Shane introduce yourself.
Yeah, well, you know, say, well, as you say, everyone know me, Dante, Tegre, Donovan Thomas, as you say. Me just love the Meadowbrook vibes. Is a thing, you know my story. I can't stop giving back to Meadowbrook, you know. Some of my best years of my life. And I tell you something, this conversation is extremely special to me. One of the men who helped make my Meadowbrook experience so pleasurable at the guest today, which is Shane, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Man, one of the men where, as you said earlier, he was a year ahead of me. And he's a man who I know from before Meadowbrook days. Him I got Swallowfield, we have a Constant Spring. 2 rival, them time it was all age school.
Mm-hmm.
Two rival school, the 2 we living at the hills, so we would see each other, you know, purity and thing. I go up on the hill, so. Yeah, and I have a link from there, and then him go Meadowbrook and me come a year after. And them money kind of take me under them wings in my early days at Meadowbrook.
Mm-hmm.
And show me the ropes and throughout my school years now, me and this money apart PP club. And I can tell you, you hardly see me and you don't see Shane, you know. I would say maybe 85 to 90% of the time when you see me, I got see Shane. In a Meadowbrook when we go to school.
Yeah, man.
And we are talking about even on the holidays.
Yeah.
You know? It was them kind of friendship. So them money I'm a brother, I'm a family. If me write up a farm now, if you thing and them still put all of your family and thing, them money name after them on it, you know. And if me don't see him for 10 or 15 years, that's still the same link.
Still the same family.
You know? Same family. If me, as I say, if I don't see him for 10 years, I'm link him after 10 years. It's the same link, same way.
Yeah.
And them kind of band they would have from school days, you know.
Yep.
So this special for me. Looking forward to the conversation, you know.
Yeah, man.
And we know we have a whole heap of stories, but come show Clarke. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So introduce yourself, Shane. Shane Clarke.
Yes, man.
Go ahead.
So, yeah, man. Give thanks, you know, man. It's an honor to be called on and to be here representing as a past student at Meadowbrook, you know. So my name is Shane Clarke, and you hear as Dante speak, you know, me and him like close brethren throughout school, like, you know, like family as him say, man, like brothers. So as it is now, I work at IRFM. I do various functions there. I've been a librarian over the time, like for the music library. I do technical operations as well in terms of like helping to produce commercials and features, programs, stuff like that. I also do some on-air work as well. And, you know, it's like, as me say, it's a pleasure to be on and for no say, yeah, man. We do work and we represent Meadowbrook, as the motto says. It has splendid lux vestra. Yeah, man, let your light so shine. Yeah, man.
Let your light
so,
shine. Let your light shine. So, you know what?
Yes,
go ahead, Tegre. You have something to say?
No more, I'm just say yeah.
So, I don't know if you listen to some of them podcasts before the conversation, as we call them. Coming in my title podcast, it's not an interview, it's a conversation we have. I'm going to say the first question I ask every man to come up on this, you know. Did you choose Meadowbrook or Meadowbrook choose you?
Well, you know, say it's a hard question that to answer, because here are the thing now. While doing your preparations for common entrance, as it was at the time, you know, you get your choice of schools and stuff. And my first choice was Meadowbrook. So you could have said I choose Meadowbrook. But then after having gone through the school and the experience where you get from it, then maybe you could have really asked the question if you choose Meadowbrook or if Meadowbrook did choose you. Because as you guys there exhibit, and as me can tell you from experience too, is like having gone to Meadowbrook, and I know everybody have their own school story and everything, but it's like I just find Meadowbrook people to be a special kind of people, and the place and the memories and everything, the learning where you get and the openness of mind and the freedom the way you did feel when you're at school, you know, unlike where you would have probably hear at some other schools where would have probably have them problems, maybe because of them area with them in and all of that. But it's like being at Meadowbrook, it was like the ideal thing for me. It was within my community in a sense, meaning within the region where I live. And so it's a big question, you know, whether you choose Meadowbrook or Meadowbrook choose you, and it's hard to answer either which way, because you could have argue it any which way.
So the question me ask, and since you put it that way, there is when you come on Meadowbrook, all right, you didn't know about Meadowbrook. You say you choose, you put Meadowbrook name on the common entrance thing.
All right, okay. So if I explain that then, all right. So I lived at the time in Red Hills. Like I was living at East Kirkland Heights at the time. And so I went to Swallowfield All-Age School, which, you know, within the region of from where me live up at Red Hills, so if we go to Swallowfield, the nearest high school in that region is Meadowbrook. And my mom happened to be working in the Havendale area at the time. So it was like just a natural thing of the whole location thing for me. And that was why I made that choice. It wasn't like me never feel say boy, or because my second choice was like Wolmer's, because you hear about them school and it's like high profile school, but in my heart, me don't know, it's like for me Meadowbrook was a school, and because as I say, I have location and proximity and all of that, that was my choice.
So you say it's like you pass it a man time when you're in holiday. I go school or she carry go school or she go work. You're familiar with the school.
Exactly. No, I never exactly pass the school, so to speak, but I know where it was. Maybe you also pass, like, the number 37 bus, which the bus pass right along the preparatory school, which is just pass from the high school and along the church, that's all. So I know the proximity of the school, and I know so the school was there and all of that. So yes, I did know about the school. It wasn't like I never know of the area or the school or anything. Because as I said, my mom worked in a Havendale, so I was in the area regularly enough to know the school, but not know like the inside or the interior of the school or anything, the history of it or anything.
That's what I mean. So when you see a common entrance, and you see the name Meadowbrook come up, you pass the Meadowbrook, you feel good?
Yes, man. I like me very elated, man. I'm going to tell you a story too, if I have the time. I don't know how much time we have. Go on. All right. I'm going to tell you a story about a common entrance thing then. When I was in grade 5, you see, I gotta be honest with you guys. I was like a troubled child in a sense. And so I was a problematic child in a some instances.
I want to correct that doing Shane. I don't want to go down because one of the time many things I was that too, and
no man.
I since me, long after school and thing,
yes,
I realized I go through certain thing and just the circumstances at the time.
Yes, man. Yes, man.
Whatever.
Well, you hit the nail on the head, as you say, man. And when you reach a certain age that you will understand. So that's why I can be so open and so honest with saying this now. Because it's like, when I get big that I realize these things, I know it from before and all of that, auntie. But, in so saying, like, when I was in grade 5 now, I was like, by that time, the teacher recognized me as a troublemaker in the class, and she said, all right, to solve my problem and solve her problem, she going to move me out of the grade 5 class that I was in and put me into a grade 6 class, which was also a common entrance class, just the same, because at the time you did common entrance from like in a grade 5.
Grade 5.
So I was due for common entrance that year, and so she just transferred me to a grade 6 class, which the idea was like me I go in one class with older students, bigger students, so me not go able to give as much trouble and different students. Like she take me out of my gang then, so to speak, So being in this grade 6 class now, I find myself, I don't know, the teacher was like, wow, that lady, Miss Percy, she was an angel, and that lady took me under her wings. And somehow, me excel in the class. I became like our top student in the class. So when the common entrance results came out, for that year, there were 2 sets of results that came out. I know one set of results came out at first, and then like about a week or 2 later, a second set of result came out. And in that first set of results that came out, I was the only student out of that class to pass for the common entrance. And so, like, all of my other friends, them now I said to me, say, boy, I walk one, me cheat or something. But, it was just, I put it down to the teacher. Miss Percy, yeah, man, that lady really took me under her wings, and so I passed the common entrance. Further down now, when the other set of results came out, now you had some other guys from the class who did pass. One other Meadowbrook student too, Richard Swaby, he was in that set. So, and so we move on to Meadowbrook, and so that was how my common entrance thing.
Hold on, Shane. I don't want to gloss over that, because what you're saying now, the teacher take you out of the class to discipline you, for say I put you among some bigger man.
Yes,
Say,
and
and you got inspired.
yeah, man.
A teacher
Yes, man.
inspire you.
Yes, man.
For a reason,
Yes,
a teacher
man.
inspire you, and you do your best. You surprise even them. And you're
Yes, man.
surprised.
You surprise even yourself. Yeah, man.
I remember says I move up in class too, you know.
Right.
It's not a G said move, you know.
No, it's not like if I move up in a if I go up in a it's like you're right. Tegre is a good analogy. It's like a man run in some lower class and the teacher say, watch me, I got discipline him and put him come some man who's supposed to drop out the belly.
You know, at that time, when I did the common entrance, at that time I was like about 10 years old because my birthday fall on the July, which is like the end of school year. I was 10 years old at the time, going on to 11 years old. And like in that class, you had kids now who were 11, and some 12. Of them 12, going on to 13.
Yeah, man,
you know,
the youngest one at the class.
So it was like an achievement, you know.
No, man.
Man. So for that, I was like called up in my name get called up in the devotion and thing, and you know, it was like something enlightening to me because it gave me a different perspective. It made me understand now, say, you know, me a troublemaker, but me also could have do my work.
Yeah,
you get your first choice at the time, which was a big thing. It means
and so me come to Meadowbrook now with that optimism and that feeling and. For first farm and all of that, me did well and thing until, you know, you start lose your way again now, you start getting
we come up with that, man. We're not rushing. So, go ahead, you say something shit, sorry.
Me do common entrance, I see him here, in a grade 5.
Okay.
And to this day, I'm convinced I'm a pass and them just never give me the place because I'm too young, you know.
Yeah, it's like you must make some older man go on. You're right.
Yeah, man.
I want to do that.
Man, I say I'm on with in my class. Pass and go Meadowbrook too. A guy named Edwin Walker, but me the leaps and bounds ahead of him. And then pass. And I say, that. Yeah, when me done the exam, I say, I pass. And my mother checked me and said, I say, yeah, man, that I pass that, man.
You mash up that, yeah.
I mash it up. But that's how it go. You know it go. Yeah. Maybe, you know, not before it time.
No. As a life set up for you, somebody didn't know what them have set for you. So,
yes, man.
The first day you come on Meadowbrook campus now, what was the first impression? You walking up on the first day. You come alone or your mother follow you come to school or you just kind of them days, you know, people follow you come to high school and just walk in by yourself, you know.
All right. So, you see, like a man like Dantino would have kind of know my experience and thing at home because as we say, we had it like family that way there, still family that way because it's a man where me go and me them come on my yard, that man all come all we are sent on in a country. My grandmother lived and him go on holiday and
hold on. You live close to each other up in the Redditts?
Who live
not close enough, but you know, them time they walk, them time they 2-3 mile walking distance, you know, man. So, and I like how we have taxi, we just, a man a travel all 100 meters and him jump on a taxi and all, them time there, man, you just walk from one community to the next community, man. So Padmore was like just up Swain Spring Road, that's from where me live. So, we walk up a community, man, and, you know, so, we link that way there.
So it never unusual for on a Saturday morning early. You hear Shane there my yard or me there female. Yeah, man. That was
the
case. The distance never make no difference at all. It's never come like that distance.
Yeah, man. And you find so the various different sections of the community all come together one play field down a Belvedere there. So everybody still get to mix up and mingle up, you know. So get to know and link up with each other. Yes, man.
Yeah, man. That's sorry for cutting. You talk and say your first day at Meadowbrook, you explain, and you talk about your background.
So we get back to that now. And as me I say, with the troubled background and thing now. So I grew up with a stepfather and my mom. And me also had my sister who was my stepfather's child. So in a sense, like growing, like in them time, they know my sister was younger than me. So in all of the school time, the man thing at that time, school at home. So my mom had to be with my sister going to school figure sort out for her thing. She does start St. Richard's Primary at the time. And so for going to school now, my stepfather wasn't involved in a that way with me for come to school and their school and all of them things there. So I ended up coming to school on that first day with somebody who did just live across away from me, Mr. Richards. He had a son, Cleveland Richards.
Cleveland Richards.
For Meadowbrook High School, and was coming to school on that first day, and so my mom asked him for, accompany me along with his son to school. And so that was the first day of school. Walking through the school gates and, you get your introduction into the auditorium and all these things. And then you had no prefects walk you down to the first farm block and introduce you to your class and thing. And my first farm teacher, I was in 1S1 in a 79 to 80 year, was Miss Nevins. So yeah, man, that was a wonderful experience. I remember the first time in the class, like where I set up seats and I set up desk and I sit down now if I have introduction and all of this thing now, and like a virgin just put up one desk and him just sit down and like him just make a space for me to sit down, and that was my first friend, and that was Robert Salter. So right away, you start get to know people, and there are people who I knew from before who had come from Swallowfield as well. I remember there was a girl in my class, Sandra Foster, I think her name was. There are other people there. You had Kirk Smith, Squitty. So he wasn't in my class, but we see each other and we know each other. So you know some people from before and thing, So that was the first day experience, and as I said, that was the first friend. Now when we make Robert Salter and thing, and so we move on from this. And yeah, man, it was like just a joy being at Meadowbrook.
Yeah, so apart from the people when you come up on the campus, what impression you get at Meadowbrook? Just the compound itself when you walk in at the place?
All right, so it was like more than what I had at Swallowfield before. So it's like I don't know if I was taking in the campus so much as the atmosphere or the feeling, because yes, you're seeing the buildings and all of that, But for me, the feeling was what was in my mind more. It was like a feeling like, yes, you're at a place now where, it's like evolve, become a bigger person now, grow, be a young man now, So that was the feeling when we get. It was a feeling of pride, and it was a great feeling for me walking through and in the school compound at the time. As I say, yes, you remember seeing the buildings and all of that, but that wasn't what impressed me. What impressed me was knowing, yes, my dad is high school, and the atmosphere of the high school, by how the persons who interacted with you, the whole devotion thing, and then going in your classroom and meet, the students, them and the teachers and stuff like that. It was just like, yeah, man. Yes, man.
Big people thing.
Yes, man. It was like I can't describe the feeling or the experience, but it was one of great joy. Yeah, man.
You're big, you feel nice, you're finally there.
Yes, man.
Place you dream of all the silence.
Yes, man. Yes, man. And as you said too, that part of it too of having like achieved your first choice, then, so to speak. For no say, all right, Meadowbrook was your first choice, and at Meadowbrook you actually go. Yeah, man. So, yeah, man. So it was really something for me.
So when you come over now, you have any ambitions? You're gonna play in a sports, or you're gonna involve yourself in a sport, or what inspired you most about the first the first term of the Meadowbrook and I Serati. Anything you remember you Serati, you have to get involved in this or have to get involved in that.
All right, so that now when I come now to the point where I say like most like an average kid, meaning say, all right, you see, growing up as a youth now, the all age years and all them things, where you'd have like youths now who would have did like can left them yard and gone a bush, make bingy and all them things, they gone shoot bird and them. No, that wasn't my experience. I never have the outdoor real life experience there. So it's like when I go to school now amongst my brethren, them you hear these things and you see these things where you make a skate and all them things, they go on a road and no, I couldn't left my yard them way there. So it's like coming now and being at Meadowbrook is like you see youths now start to play football and all them things there and things. So to me, I don't know, maybe it was what you were interested in. But while I was at Swallow Field, I never play ball. Me did know little cricket. I used to play little cricket amongst my friend them when me there at home and all them thing there. But it was when me come to Meadowbrook actually that me get what you would have called introduced to football, so to speak, and things like cricket. And me could have did run because as a little youth, me did love run. Everywhere me I go, me very active and athletic and all them thing there, But just never had that that opportunity then where you could have did say you left yard and go and play ball with the boy them and all them thing there. So is when me get to Meadowbrook now that me get these experiences. So it's like me active and me I participate, but at the same time it's like I learn. So when one team for pick for football and all them thing, me I one of the last man name where I go call. Even though me I go get on the field and me I go play and me I go enjoy myself with everybody and thing and yeah, you make one team, you make one, but me wasn't one of them youth, like that star ball or that star cricket or whatever. But me and them youth, was good brethren and good friend. And, me did enjoy them achievements and all of them thing there, because like, the years when we were there at Meadowbrook, I'm proud to say that we were triple Sunlight Cup champions and thing, and we went to all finals, like, at that time there was course competition, under 16 competition with KC and so them thing there is like the sports and the whole thing. Me did captivated by it and me enjoy sports and me participate and all of them thing there. Me never feel like some boy like even become like a baller or a top baller like when we in a first form now as you asked about that first term. So you'd have the interfarm competitions and all of them things, So in that first term, usually I would them call the football season and things. So our team actually won the interfarm competition for that year. And we had people on the team now like Robert Salter and people like Hookton.
Biggest ball at them time.
Them people in my class at the time and so say, a top ball and everything there. So man, it's like even though we never dip on the team and get to run out there and thing and play, but it's like you still feel a pride there, and so say like as myself to win that competition there in that first year. Man, as I say, our class 1S1, we did feel like we're top class, So, man, that was a memorable introduction then, if you call it, to Meadowbrook.
And just make it known to Jelly, same like how when me around the Sunlight team, and a feel, I do some feeling and all them things. Shane, they're always there with me,
Yes, man.
But it's just that maybe
you the opportunity there because as a youth you're there around the team and things. Make the team, but say boy, I'm give you the opportunity there. You do some feeling and maybe one of the time
you get big as a youth.
You get to go in a practice and things. So yes, man, you feel good as a youth now for them the big stars them and and them amongst the big ball.
You feel a part of the team, even if I don't
Yes,
water
man.
and carry. I
Yes,
say, yo,
man.
you're glad
Yes,
to carry
man.
water because.
Yes, man.
So,
Yes, man.
So,
But not only that, too, if we can extend it even to the ladies, them, because we had a wonderful netball team. And so you find, say, the school camaraderie was such that when the girls play right round the court, the whole school surround the court, and the support was there. So you don't necessarily have to be on the team, but that support and that camaraderie, that Meadowbrook feeling.
Let me ask you something though. It just come to me now, I listen to the two and you realize you talk about 78, 79. Did you realize when you come to Meadowbrook at the time where Meadowbrook are peak in a certain sporting activities like
netball.
They don't realize that, and they just think they take it for granted, say, this is how it always was. And I come in at a time and I realize, say, right, but Meadowbrook are not a small thing.
Man. And that's the thing, because when we come in and when we just are coming, Meadowbrook just a start establish themselves.
Just a flex them muscle, man.
Yeah, just a flex them muscle. And that's why my conversation, but I tell you, say, when I analyze it, the thing started from the mid 70s. In my assessment, the whole establishment of Meadowbrook in terms of its sporting
the foundation laid.
The foundation start down there.
Yeah.
By the time we come, we never know, say, we never have any feelings, say we were any underdogs any time at all.
Yeah, we never feel inadequate, or you never feel less than. Yeah, man. You feel like
you're competitive against anybody at all.
You feel proud of your school. You're not in a chat from a boy or nobody else at all. And I say, yo,
for real.
We're there. So yeah. No,
and then members say, win basically in the early years for we,
Yeah, I come to that.
Come on.
Right. Because I want to know the signal. Because what was the first time when you look at that thing, say, but yeah, Meadowbrook look like, say, a big time thing. What was in terms of, say, even a football match or any time in a thing say we would win nothing in the early years, come on Meadowbrook, when I think say we have been so successful in a full own lifetime. Because you live through it in a Tegre. When you live through a period of winning so much as like you say, when you realize when you go through just a thing back on it now, they don't realize and think that they're going to happen. And you go first, Shane.
Yeah. All right. So for me, it was just an experience, It was like a joyride. You see, just like how we have this period of dominance with Jamaica in a track and field, where the Usain Bolt era, the Asafa Powell era, Shelley and Fraser, Veronica Campbell now come down to Elaine. And as Jamaicans, we get so euphoric in all this celebration and the enjoyment of the achievements of the athletes within the period of time. And we have lived in this time where we see that happen and, with joy in the moment. And so for me, it was the same thing, being at Meadowbrook in that time. It was like, as I say, for Meadowbrook to win 3 Sunlight Cup in the time when me did it. We find that as like, hey, Nehemiah Perry come on a program, What's the Score on IRA FM. That was being hosted at the station where I work at IRA FM. And me have to remind him, say, yeah, brother, yeah, man, at my school, it mashing up. Yeah, man, I'm just buying a part there.
3 times, 2 times.
Yeah, things like that, It's like, yeah, man, you were, as we say already, you weren't on the team, But Meadowbrook was such that you felt a part of. You never felt left out. And you felt like, as you say, you could have did battle with anyone, Because like Calabar were like favorites in them time. They take the championship and, with them big stars, as I say, like Nehemiah Perry and thing. But
bigger names, school and thing.
Yeah, man. So, for have these achievements in our time, For me, as I say, it was just a joy ride. Me just enjoy all of that experience while just meeting and going at the different places, because there was a time too when me they come in a first farm, that's where even different from football, from like cricket, the football. I don't remember if Tegre remember these things, but would they get like tickets? They were like the school.
Yeah, man, you get your
stadium piece, and you could have go out this and this stuff to go watch your school play football. And it was like, for me, all of these experiences, as we say, it's like it was just
big thing, man.
An enjoyment for me, like a joyride, man. Like you're on a big team where I win, and you just enjoy the fact that them I win. Yeah.
Yes, so Tegre. Well, go ahead.
My truth be told, from me come school with Gobbler them, Gobbler them come school together.
Yes, man.
And them youth they just dominant. Let me tell you the story about me and
them. It was from Swallowfield before too.
Yeah. And so me never feel, and me did feel something I cricketer still, from before. So I did always gravitate towards the cricket. And when me see all the man them play, me ask the way the champion side is. I was impressed as well, equally impressed with the football of them. As I tell you, say, my first round of discipline when we get into the school at the Manning Cup team. Give me a look at discipline. And after me get a look at discipline, them take me under them wings, man, like goose to them and same piggy will drop out and thing and pee-wee them and them man they take me under them wings as a brethren, keep me, and say, look at you, I used to follow up the thing. So watching them man the play, watching your team play, Prince, them I think you captain the team my year, the first year me come on Meadowbrook. And
yes,
well, what
81, yeah.
Yeah. That was our team where you could have said that team that was going to things, There was so and then there was the Colts team with the same salt that they were here, say Shane on top of Colts cricket, Colts football team.
Yeah.
With the salt of them. And here Shane talk about Cleveland Richards, which was a youth of power with it. Him used to play like a ball and him used to play cricket too.
Yes, man.
So we were always, apartheid. So I hear Shane say, him did feel like, nobody can tell me say I know me win sunlight, what I say? It's because we were so close to the actual people where play and thing, and as I tell you, we used to feel the ball them. So we didn't feel like a part of the team, and we were made to feel like a part of the team, and that was the thing.
Yes, man, because as I say, Mr. Here, Red Dread was such that it give you and allow you that participation, because all right. Being around the team, I was around the cricket team so much at one point that me even when we have matches and all them things, them even help with the scoring because we did understand the score sheet and how
the score book. You do the books.
Yes, man. So you not play upon the team out there, but you do the scoring. Yes, man.
Carry some water. Help share the lunch.
Help with the pads, them and thing. Yeah, man. Yes,
so you feel like a part of the thing,
Yes, man.
So it's not like look up to the man and say, boy, them in a different league. It's like you.
No, it was an all-inclusive thing, man.
Yeah, man. You feel it. And no man never really look down for you either, what I say?
Right, right.
Yeah, nobody never really has to. Like Liquor Boy or whatever, man.
Feeling fear or say, belong. I say it was like everybody.
It was never
like
anything
a family
like
thing.
that. Yeah, man.
As I'm telling you, the man them kind of take you under them wings away, So you were encouraged then, yeah.
Yeah, man.
So apart from Salter, which other student stand out to you, Shane, in terms of say, look on us, right? The man is a cut above the rest in terms of talent wise. Either football or cricket, you look on and I say, yeah man, the man can't, because they say you never grow up and play ball in a way when enough man grow up and play ball on them road every day. You come and I see someone that play ball or play cricket and I say, right, where the man get them skill from. Which other man inspired that way there? And no matter this name, no matter if I first farm, second farm, which other man inspired.
All right. So you see, in terms of like for the football now, you see the Colts team that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That year there, when we did go to finals with yeah. That Colts team did have some youth on it, where you see, because them youth, there was the same youth them in my year and period of time now. Some of them younger than me, some of them little bit older than, but in the region of time when we did their school. So I find them youth they did very talented, So as we say, yeah, the youth like Salter we mentioned, yeah, like Kirk Smith, me did know them youth, they're from Swallowfield before. You have the Gabler twins, them. Yeah man, the Gabler twins, them where I go school with them at Swallowfield from before as well too. Itchy Burke, where me and him did in a first farm from them days, and then me see them man, they know become all even big cricket up on the Sunlight Cup team too as well, because him did multi-talented that way there. And then when you get to the Sunlight team now and you have like Kevin Reese, and then even as like they are Boscobellia now too, and it does funny how things are circle around back sometimes, because me in the same region now as Goosey, that our virgin Stanford Brown, and then was an older man to me at school. Now me see him almost every day on the road, So it's like these people are some of the people where they look up to, You had like track and field people now, like, Ira Turner and them people when they did come to school, you see them man they are run, and so, you had a youth in my class year. Come from Swallowfield as well. Chris, remind me his name, the Tegre. Could I run, man?
Swaby.
Yeah, so it's like
Christopher Swaby name, man.
Yeah, man. So you had different people, So for me, it was like more team effort overall, because like as I say, even though the individuals and you move amongst them, just the success of the whole team. For those like a little school as them would have look on it then, like Meadowbrook could have go up with a KC in our finals in a football, and in a later years to come we did win all Walker Cup and them things. So like, these are some of the people who you remember, the people who did dep on them team there, the Sunlight Cup team and the Colts team there,
So, may I ask you something, to honor something. Which match, either football or cricket match, and you look on and you say, Meadowbrook ready? Which match you remember and I say, yeah man, we arrive and we're a big thing, we can compete with the big time school them any day, any field, anywhere. Which match remind you, change your mindset and I say, we're ready?
Well, for me, I'm going to tell you a strange thing, because it's not like it's a match where we were in competitive competition with another school, but this now was a match where it happened at Bottom Field. It was a cricket match, and we were the Sunlight Cup champions, and so we invited, I don't remember if it was like just an invitational team or what team it was, but the important thing to me and that was that Courtney Walsh was a member of that invited team, and Courtney Walsh came and played at Meadowbrook. I can't tell you the result, but I just know say that to me was like a big highlight to make me know say, boy, yeah man, Meadowbrook a really big team. Courtney Walsh,
you were we had the champion. I did Excelsior come down there though. I did Excelsior come play with a match, and if I remember correctly, I think yeah man, I think me actually was umpire in the match there. Stand up a square leg and the dread did I umpire the match.
All right. Well, you will
the judge
refresh
was
my
the
memory with
umpire.
that. But yes, man, I just remember that match.
And I
It
remember
was.
the match, man.
Yes.
So I say, them time they
The match,
watch a big time cricket time for Jamaica. I
Yeah, man.
also watch it.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
Yes, man.
Watch the dinner the
Was on
Jamaica team.
Yeah, Jamaica national
Jamaica
team at the
team.
time.
Yeah. And I say, big man, I come down and come play Meadowbrook. And it didn't matter the result. I say, Meadowbrook entertain big time cricket. So for you, Tegre, which match turn around your vision, not in vision, where you say, because you don't, in your mind, you come on Meadowbrook and you say, we can do this, you know. But which man?
Boy, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think I can think of a one match, but there are several matches, you know, both, and even in a track and field, because when me just come Meadowbrook, Howard Thomas, just beat when name Erlen from Calabar. Actually, I did have a Calabar at the time.
Yeah, man,
Calabar.
Yeah, man, Calabar.
No, remember, in the run for George is early too, you know.
Oh,
so maybe
true.
I don't know.
True, you may be right, but
yeah. But for Stafford Thomas, and I think the only man who beat him, Howard Thomas, beat him. And guess what? Howard Thomas did live pretty close to me too, you know.
Up in the hills that too, right.
Up in the hills there. Right. Yeah, so a whole heap of things. The whole, I mean, I remember watching you too, you know, Jelly, in a cricket match against Calabar. Not Calabar, Camperdown.
The first
match. Bottom field.
First match.
They make must 80-something in the match there.
88,
I remember you come on over the thing there. That was a dominant inning. All of them things, a whole heap of different instances of things what happen. Can remember you lick some ball over the water commission that day that you know, man.
Yes, man. That was a regular feature down a bottom field, man.
Yeah,
man.
I mean,
as you say, Tegre. Yeah, man. As you say, it's like you can't just really remember any one individual match, but you know, man. All of those things, great experiences.
The same coach side the way here she and talk about.
Yeah, I watched them on Monday. Yeah.
I watched them when they play Pepsi, and there was a nice team too, you know, the Pepsi competition with
yes, man.
CM Robert Salter. Robert Salter was probably the most dominant footballer in junior years, you know.
That's
junior years.
That's true.
Yes, man. Yes, man.
Him did play big man football them time. Like.
Yeah. Him come to school and know the ball to a certain level.
Yeah. Him never transition the way to the senior side. But
Yeah.
There was and Shane talk about the netball, because we used to get around the netball court, you know, and when netball play all we up on in a ball.
Yes, man.
I don't think nobody else cheer for netballers like how we cheer for them, you know.
Yeah.
So there was a whole heap. It's not. There was just a whole lot of incidents. Or matches where we can look at and say, boy, we're not bad, we're not dusty.
It's like
man, it was a lot of things happening, man. You know, because you could have looked at that final there with Calabar same way at the Sabina Park there. You know, so like you remember being there in the finals. You remember being at the Stadium East in the finals with KC. For that. So it's like there are matches where you could have talked about instances, you know, but as we said, there are so many that you could all put together. It really would have taken a day to go reminisce and get back in all of that, man.
That's true. But truth be told to say, Jelly, I would have said, truth be told, the first and most significant thing where really propel your your confidence or whatever it is.
You believe
is the most significant one. Would have been the Sunlight Cup victory in my mind.
You don't want to broke the glass seal in 1982.
Exactly. The fact is we were there. We were not only at the match. We were amongst the team in training, you know what I say? I mean, we're not trained, but we are feel some ball, and we are say them same money who were there feel ball too. And when Jed get so when him say you look probably bored, him say turn over your hand and make your bowl two little lollipop and them lick them.
Yeah, man.
But you feel you know it because you felt like a part of that team. It kind of give you that confidence, you know. As you say, break the glass ceiling.
Yeah, and
First major thing, you know, it's a proud moment. The Monday morning when we come back a devotion and Spanner, because Spanner did very proud of that, you know.
yeah, man, that's a proud moment, man. Yeah.
I was very proud of that, yeah.
Yeah. And we can't just imagine how I feel when I look on. Because I know me feel as a player. I look on how you feel about the school. And I'm asking, all the rest of the classroom, the people who are close to it, like, you know, people in the class, how them feel about it?
At the same, it was a proud moment for the entire school. You could have feel it. You could have feel it in the school.
The energy change in the school. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, man. Energy change, man.
Energy change in the school. So, may I ask you something, Shane? Because I say you come on Meadowbrook now, I say you come in as bright sparks because you come on, you pass your command entrance where you're young. You surprise yourself and you surprise your teachers them. When you come on Meadowbrook now, who are some of the teachers them who inspire you? And why you became a troublemaker after a while again? What demotivated, you know? Or you just said, try you can't, but I would this, you know? Because you describe yourself as a troubled person. But you come on Meadowbrook as bright sparks, as far as me concerned. You pass, you come on entrance at the first link. So what changed? First of all, tell me the teacher who inspire you first. How about that first?
All right. So some of the teachers that inspire me. To be honest, I really feel ashamed that I don't remember everybody's name, you know.
You don't have to do that.
So as I said, my first farm teacher was Miss Nevins, and so I'll start there. I found her to be a wonderful farm teacher, and you know, so you take her from there. So then you start to get to know other teachers. Them did get in a cadet and them thing there. So you get to know people like Mr. Gooden, you know, Captain Gooden and thing, and then. In my later years of school going through, you know, you meet people like Mr. McGregor, you know, you had people like Mr. Nearn and them people. Also to me, it was like, if you notice, like some of the names I will remember or I will call, I like the male names, like as I said, Mr. Gooden and Mr. Near, the Mr. McGregor, and them people. And that was because for me, and this was my trouble, you know, meaning say, for me coming to school, I was one of them child where I grew with a stepfather, as you hear me tell you earlier on in the thing, in the introduction, that I grew with my stepfather. But me and my stepfather never really take tea too well, you know. And as a child, I never really know who my father was. And so that was my trouble. It's like you want to feel this sense of identity. You want to feel this sense of being, this sense of, you know, having this father figure or this person who, like, could have did see you or look upon you as a son or somebody who, you know, them could have, like, interact with on a cordial level. And so that's why I call them names, because those were the teachers, the male figures, like especially for a man like Mr. Gooden, who saw beyond the trouble when I used to give at school and would have think forgive me a second chance. You know? And so when I come to school, it was like joy and happiness and fun for me. I used to enjoy my friends. I used to enjoy learning. And it was like just a wonderful thing to me. But then that was, as I said, part of my trouble, because then it was an escape from my stepfather at home. And so hence comes the trouble now, because when school done at evening time, you don't want to go home. You find yourself now getting all sort of little problems. You become problematic now because you hang around the school when you should have gone home. You're getting a little trouble now where because you're not going home if you go and do your homework and them thing there, you know, them have a little thing now where them said they will find work for idle hands. So all sort of little trouble and all sort of little thing to get into because you're not going to your yard. And so that was how my trouble come in. You want to do the work, and so as me say, in that time, in that grade 6 space where this teacher took me under her wings, and so to speak, it's like, you know, you felt like somebody was there in your corner, and so it inspire you, it push you. When you get to first farm, you still have that propellant there, so it's like it'll carry you along. But then by the time you get to second farm now, and you get to third farm, and then you see other youths now have little issues at school, and you see them parents come in, and you see them father come at school, come pick them up, and you hear youths talk about them father, and then it's like, as a youth now, me there and like, me kind of feel away, because me have that troubled past there, where it's like, it don't allow me to feel like part of everybody else then, so to speak, at the time. And so, you know, I want just kind of divert a little bit. It's like that just propel me, you know, to the point of where as a father now, it's like, hey, man, me get all awards for come to school, you know, man, for just for my yeah, man. So you see that experience, it's like me turn it into a positive experience. It's like it was a negative experience then, you know, and so, yeah, man, me give thanks for a man like Mr. Gooden who, when me did fail my exams because me never passed all my exams at the time when me did take them at first in a 5th form, and so he give me that chance where me could have get to come back, you know, through even participation in the whole cadet unit and all of them thing there, you know, and his recommendation, me come back there and thing even against protests from other teachers because of the trouble with me. But, you know, as me say, some persons never really take that time there to sit down with me one at a time and say, hey, you know, why you give so much trouble? And really, that was what that teacher in grade 5 did. She said, you know something? You know, you get too much trouble, you know, you want Ray, and she moved me to one grade 6 class, she solved my problem. And she put me with one teacher now where apparently she must have taught to the teacher before, and so the teacher just set me under her wing. You know, so we never have that growing up as a child, you know, that early part of Meadowbrook and things. So as me say, stepfather experience wasn't the best and the greatest. So these teachers now are the people now whom we used to gravitate towards, you know. And I find now the teachers, them who did have the problem with me now, would be the female teachers, them. You know, because, you know, you act up, you get trouble in a class, you chat when you know if you chat, and, you know, I wasn't one of them students that were like, me gonna tear down building or me gonna broke in at the place for go thief out something or, you know, like me I take out one pen or one knife now for go stab her. I wasn't one of them kind of troublesome student there. But, you know, we will climb the mango tree when we were supposed to climb it. We will jump over the fence, gone over prep school there, so when we not supposed to do that. You know, them kind of trouble.
But
you know,
you know, it's a shame. Just sorry for cutting you. Just a listen to your talk now. And I realize it's like say me and your part intersect at a time, and I guess because me had well, you know my situation where basically me know my father, but there was no father figure influence in my thing. So it was my mother and a whole heap of kids and thing. And it looked like I realized I just when we part intercept the two away get real mischievous today. I realize no just whenever I listen to your talk, like it was a good escape for the two away, and maybe that's why when we did link up that's all. We did get so.
Well, me I come to that because I come to that because I just go after the one of that. It's like, because we are saying now, the two on the cross part at the same time the two on our search for our father in a sense. Our father missing missing the two on now.
And then we will become great brethren.
Right. No, I let me come to know. When in the part.
Even greater.
No, right. When in the part. you said that Meadowbrook before, Tegre.
Yeah, a year before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a
So
year before.
when you Shane, when did you realize this man where you know from long time up in the hills, I come a Meadowbrook like you? At what point? And you can answer afterwards, say Greg. When did you realize you're going to the same school Shane I go? Or did you hear about the school that Shane I go before you? But you go first, Shane. When did you realize, Tegre, I got join you at Meadowbrook? And what did it mean to you? I never mean nothing at first.
All right. So while I was there, as me say, like, me did kind of know Tegre from before. Not in a brethren way, so to speak, but me did, as me say, we meet up on the road. We would have see one another out of purity and thing, and so you had a crew of students now who that they travel from Constant Spring and myself from Swallowfield, and then you had family now who was at Swallowfield who would have family at Constant Spring. I remember there was this girl, Anne-Marie Brown. She used to go Swallowfield with me, but her brother, Carlton, used to go by Constant Spring. So when we link up, is that way that we have that link, where, say, me there, Swallowfield, me know them students, yeah, and them have that link there, Constant Spring, and so that was how, me and Tegre get that link, where, we start see each other that way there and know each other that way there and thing, until when it get to the point now where him started coming to Meadowbrook. So when him come to Meadowbrook now, I was in a second farm, but then because of his activity, as you hear him tell you, even with his sports and like stuff like that now, the sports team, them and all of these things.
Team, them, yeah.
Yeah, which at the same time, me was one of them youth, we were on the sports team, them same way. So when him come to Meadowbrook, naturally we just have that natural link up there because me did know him from before, as me say. And so it was easy, for we interact and get along, and we are play cricket together, and we are play football together and thing after school and all these things. So it was, and then you find yourself now you're going home, you're not going in the same direction. So it was just a natural progression to, a greater friendship.
Link there.
Yeah, man.
So Shane, did you hear me? Tegre, did you realize you got Meadowbrook, Shane was there?
Yeah, man, because as Shane said, we know each other. So when we see Shane pass, we go Meadowbrook. Remember, say I did feel say I should have passed though. So in my mind, me I say, yo, me can't wait. And then when me I leave primary school now and Shane, them time they ask me, boy, me can't wait for when me I go Meadowbrook. So when we start going out, when we start going out and thing, and as what Shane said, a natural link because we are idle after school, follow up the sports team them, and then we end up go home together. So that's how the link start make until we start actually go school together. So where you start now is that I used to leave because I live further than Shane them. After we start link, and it was early when we start on Meadowbrook, so probably within the first few weeks we make the link.
Yeah, man.
And I think I would just end up go home together one day. And
yeah, man.
And from that, then we make a plan and say, here we go on. We'll meet at a certain point. And actually, it was 4 away, And it's 4 away.
That was about to say because you had Cleveland Edwards as well. I mean, Cleveland Richards.
Richards and Gavin Edwards. Yeah, man.
Yes, man. I used to call Fishy. So yeah, man. So it was like just a crew with it, and then you find you had some other little youths too now where they come at Meadowbrook afterwards. So like Paul, and so where after a while now it was like just a crew of youth who are head that way there. And then you had the Meadowbrook Estate crew now include people like Minot and Witter and them other man, where them come at the hill foot there, so right at the foot of Red Hills, but them turn go down Meadowbrook Estate while we are going up the hill. So, yeah, man, there was that internet.
Well, they said something. Sometimes they have to walk up in the hills to go Red Hills.
Yes, man.
Yeah, man, we have occasions, man.
Occasions in there when, the bus are pass and it's like bus full, man. So you stop And then if you not get a ride, sometimes, the regular thing for most people at the time was like we go at the foot of the hill and maybe you just wait till you see somebody and you come a ride, or maybe somebody a truck stop or a van stop and you jump up and you reach up the hill so and you maybe walk part of the way or you get left down a Belvedere there, so and so it was just an experience. As I say at that time, there, like 2-3 miles was just a walking distance.
Basic thing that one.
Taxi never regular on road like at them time.
Well, you know what? Me used to walk up Permacal from Meadowbrook every day, and then on a shop.
Yeah, man. Then I tell you the youth, them go Meadowbrook Estate and Permacal, and then
take the road
Kings Boulevard, there, so and walk up Permacal, go across the bridge, and yeah, man, same way. Walk go down in a Duane Park, go further, and go all, even cross to Washington Boulevard. A walking distance, them.
Take that. You just say when the sun I walk up in the hill now, it's like the steepness. Smell up and I say,
sometimes you did have to do that, man, because sometimes you get a ride or bus or run or something, and yeah, man. Or sometimes maybe as a crew away, we just go and walk. And who reach Belvedere branch off, who reach a Kirkland Heights branch off, who reach a Sterling Castle branch off, and I saw it continue until you reach up the hill, who go all the way at Red Hills, reach a Red Hills,
Yeah, I know exactly where you're at, man.
No, man, you walk and I gonna get trouble. You don't even know. You don't even know. Time pass and you reach, man, and you don't realize, man. I'm going to tell you a story, One day we go Meadowbrook Barbecue, Ronnie Williams Entertainment Center.
Yeah, we used to keep the barbecue that's all.
Yeah. And we go up there, and when we left, it's a big crowd. Because some of my brethren them were never go Meadowbrook the day of the barbecue, and some other man come up in the hills.
Some JC youth and all them things.
Yeah. Yes. And we say, here what we say now, because we have money, to take taxi go home and thing. And we are group up for take taxi, and we say, you know what? We are going to walk up Purity from Ronnie Williams. And we say, when we reach Purity, we're going to take a taxi from Purity. And when we reach Purity, this is probably like 1 o'clock in the morning, And when we reach Purity, the man them just say, you know what? We're hungry, And we just buy some pan chicken and walk up the hill,
And go and walk.
Yeah, man.
And walk up the whole way, man. That big crowd. Yeah, man.
Yes, man. And that a more than one time experience,
More than one.
From Ronnie Williams and go up a Red Hills, man.
Yeah, man. No time.
So when the two link up, when did it become a thing where say, boy, on a reputation go around where one of the artists at the school? Where did that start?
I'm going to tell you, so at the 2 hours, I went there, I eat my cookie, give my brethren, and I'm bored of find brethren now, because I used to laugh afterwards. McGregor.
Rory.
Yes, man, Mr. McGregor, man.
I eat the cookie
in the little corridor there where you'd have the water cooler there, so going round. If you go down on the first farm block.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Some only for graffiti. Yeah, man. On the wall and thing, and true as we are troublemaker and them thing.
All if I know we do it,
Yeah, man. So Spanner give with the duty now for clean off the wall completely.
Clean off graffiti.
And Mr. McGregor now oversee everything to make sure so we done it and everything proper. Yeah, man. The wall.
He might laugh after we, He might laugh after we, but I kill him with mountain down there,
So, when you get to John the first time for Sarah did, we could draw something yourself.
I don't know where it come from, we just did it.
All right, you know what?
Please, are you in a shame, because you was always the linguist.
All right, for me, you know that thing that start. It just start out. It was like a fad at the time, you had them like graffiti thing. They'd come along with the whole breakdancing era and all of that. So you had the shadow writing and all of them things, so you start practicing it in your book. And then before you know it now, you start get on your bag and all them things there. And for some of the other students now who did daring enough, even pan all them clothes sometime, who they did, do these shadow writing and graffiti stuff and thing. For me, as a youth, as I said still, this whole graffiti thing on the wall and thing, me not gonna say me never did make 2 graffiti on the wall, but me wasn't one of the great artists them, so to speak. So you had some people who used to do some things and them draw like even all the boots them along with the graffiti and thing, and it's like, it was like a real artwork. But as you know, the school administration now really not gonna appreciate that and thing, and so you find it became problematic. And so even on that occasion, there were when me and Dante did get reprimanded and did have to clean up and thing. We weren't the authors of that,
No,
so,
no.
But
there were other students. Yes, man. As troublemakers.
I remember we did graffiti up at the white walls of Sabina Park, So from that we get the and just looking back, and I've said it before, I say it to a number of principals at Meadowbrook and thing, and I say you can't give up on a 15, 16-year-old youth, because when I look back now and look on them things that we may do, sometimes I'm going to look on the youth at them things, and just give up on the youth, them, And when I look back on it, some of those things, you look on it and you just say some serious thing them they would do, we're talking it as a joke.
Yes, man. All right.
Graffiti,
so,
yeah.
Yes, if I add to that now too, even like as you mentioned, on them walks coming home from from Ronnie Williams, after like school fete and these things, like going home. I would have find myself in a crew of youth and where I go home and even like stop signs, traffic signs, direction signs. You pass them and it's like you beat them, you lick them down, you lick the bus stop till all the sides start beat off. You would have see people who have mental illness and homeless people on the road, and maybe as youths were misguided, you throw stones after them, and may I say these things, and to me, as you said, Dante saying it, it sounds so horrific, but as children growing up, I find myself used to like get misled in activities like these, and so that's why, as you hear me mention now too before, like my children, I make sure say as a father I participate in my children's life very much, and like stuff like these now, even not just my children, but anywhere I go. Like when I see young youths and get that chance to interact with them and things, I try to show them that different way. I try to like explain to them how this affect that and why this necessary or important to you to understand. Me at the bus stop the other day, I see a little youth come and him finish drink out of one bottle and him just throw it over in one little gully right at the roadside. So, and then I kind of stop him and I explain to him now, why and how that important to him and why him shouldn't do it in terms of like the environment and blocking up of drains, and then how that relate to we in terms of flooding and all of them stuff there. But as I say, you see, growing as a youth now, me never have that guidance there. Me never have somebody who for sit with me for impart all of them knowledge there to me, who for there with me, for lead me by the hand, as a father figure, as me say. And so, you grow now, and then looking back on the Meadowbrook experience and looking back on the people who you went to school with, and even now, as me there, I talk tune up on this chat and thing, when me look back and me see the camaraderie in the Meadowbrook Past Student Association, and when me see the love were shown by the Past Student Association when them come out for them events and all them thing there. A lot of the times me not at the events and all of that, and so that's why, persons may find it, a little challenging for remember me or remember who I was at school and all of them thing there. But me always admire that. And me always look to that whole thing they have when me see like the whole team come together, like maybe somebody pass off, or somebody might have a relative who pass, and you see the whole school come out in terms of support, the past student association, wherever them they whether up in New York or Canada or out here in Jamaica. And when you look at that, it's like it kind of show you the quality of the persons, the students, them, the youth, them, where you grow with, the quality of the learning where you get from the institution. As me say, growing up in a Meadowbrook, it wasn't like, say, you either go to one school. Me don't want the mean no school, but it wasn't like you did there one Tivoli, or you did there one, like in my instance, or my case here down in a St. Annia, so one Marcus Garvey, because, them school, they have a stigma of being schools where, like, them problematic in terms of the students who come there and stuff like that, But I find say Meadowbrook wasn't that kind of school. Meadowbrook did have like good people. And so even as me myself was a troubled child, but growing and being an older person now, have responsibility now and having a more positive outlook on life and how you deal with things and family for represent and all of them things there, as I say, it's like this whole experience of seeing the Meadowbrook family come together, even online, this Facebook experience, this new social age experience. It still warm my heart to this day, and it still affect me and give me that feeling of pride, for say, yes, as a youth, you come through Meadowbrook and you get trouble, you go a road and you do things and thing, but you reach to the point now of a point of responsibility where you can now become a change and affect change and help with change, and when you see the other persons, them who you go school with, as Dante, president of the past student association, and it's like as a brethren we grow amongst him and grow with him, it's like me feel a sense of pride and joy, for no say, yes man, for no say we go through with trials, we go through with struggles, we go through with challenges and things, but we could have come out to be men. And we can come and we can be here to represent Meadowbrook and, for shine the light of what Meadowbrook represent and, just for be as I said, just for be a change, for do things differently than you did as a kid, and it's all out of that understanding and that grooming where you get from being at Meadowbrook. I don't know, as I say, maybe somebody else could have the reason it enough to say, boy, all right, if me did go a Calabar or if me did go a Georges or wherever, me could have get the same experience or whatever. Maybe the experience would have be a little bit different, but more that is still I enjoy. But, me feel honored, man, for having gone to Meadowbrook, and if me had the chance to do it over again, like if me that take common entrance right now and if make a choice for a school, and Meadowbrook may I choose again, right as it is.
Meadowbrook man too same way, I hear you. But
yes, man.
It sounds like when we heard the two are talking, the two are come and the two are meet up back at Meadowbrook at the same time in terms of say, I look for guidance, and Meadowbrook did provide that. Although at the time me would not say, I'm like Mr. McGregor, I want to come for respect so much, because because the way I'm doing it, the way it was done, through Mr. McLean and Mr. McGregor, it's not like say the material down,
No, man,
responsibility for say, all right, to do that, we're not dashing out of school, but we have take responsibility for clean this. But the school have to look a certain way, and it's like Meadowbrook halfway a redemption where you never get at home. It's like you get it certain. You get
yes,
it.
Man. Yes, man.
Leave and love it
yes,
so much.
Man.
Yeah.
Yes, man. And that's what I say about people like even Mr. McGregor, as I say. You see, when Mr. McGregor interact with you as a youth, it's like feel like say boy, this big man overbearing over you interact with you. You feel like you could have talk with him. You feel like you could have the reason with him. So that now give you that confidence there in yourself now as a youth now, for like do the right thing sometimes.
I'm going to add a little thing to that, because is like, as what Shane said, me feels that if we had a different principal, a different set of teachers, and or we went to a different school, probably we wouldn't be where we are now. Because I can remember I remember some occasions when Spanner tried work with me, and Spanner used to just randomly probably come up peck and see me and Shane and just say, go to our office. Cause she know we do some things sometimes. And she just have win there and she usually have some things what them call it stencils. Where them print some
Yes, man.
lamp thing.
Yeah, man. I've been at the office for one whole day. I do some whole heap of stenciling because at the time, the stenciling was used for like copying, like you get exams or tests and all them things. There, so it type up on a stencil and then the stencil machine make how much copies of the thing and things. So you were there in the office and you also sometime have just make sure say do something. She just want to know say you're not in trouble.
Mm-hmm. I'm more on that donation. It's like it's a sense of responsibility on our learn and then they realize on our learn. Like
yes, man. Yes, man.
Come as soon as a pecker, it's like she say, and she not. Me did conscious saying it's like she say some lemon, I know. I'm not caring about
some lime juice. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man.
At the time, you don't y'all upset about it and thing, but when you realize we're really going on, you're so thankful now.
Yes, man, you're grateful, things, man. Yeah, man, because as you say, Jelly, it's like you see these things now, and them things that you not get at your yard. Because it's like you have tasks and chores and things where you have to do a yard, but there was no sense of responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, as you say, I give you this because me feel say you're responsible enough to deal with it. It was more of like, okay, that for do, so it just have to do. And understand why it for do or maybe you probably do even understand the whole methodology of doing it and all of that and thing, and there's no explanation behind it. Sometimes you do it and you get it wrong and then it's a reprimand sometime, so at school, as you say, it was like getting away from that, but it was also a sense of responsibility too. Yes, man.
And I'll tell you something, Rory, because them time they used to, I think him just laugh after because he must say, he must do it, because him just a mouth way. Because what Spanner used to do, if any graffiti she find in the school, she link, anytime she catch me and Shane after school, either she give us some paint, and say go paint that, or she say go wipe clean off that. And she always make Rory oversee it. So,
but I want just come to me now. I realize that them there in a sense. I don't never realize it either, Them would I didn't know say, I don't know why I'm going, not because say it's like say, it's like you must find a way for keeping because them sister don't want to stay at school.
Yes, so instead of I
go a road by find a different company. They must say, all right.
Yes, man.
So them know, so I don't necessarily put the graffiti, but they must say, well, I use them for clean every graffiti at school.
At school. That used to go on, man.
You know, so them not getting in trouble at road. And by the time
man.
leave, for
so by the time that finish now one time now, if you leave, say you go home.
Yeah.
I may tell this, when one of the time the past students association I give Anna Rory, fame service to the school. And me.
By the way, Dante, how long Rory did at school?
Rory was there.
Well, I gotta go see him.
40 odd years, 40 odd years, he was there.
Yeah, man, I gotta go see him.
Then come the after, I think when I work 1978. Where year him live?
Him leave about 2 or 3 years ago, him leave,
Yeah, man, it's about 40 years, man. A two generation, man.
Yeah, man. And me I tell you, me I go give him when I go up, me I present the award to him.
When this year?
No, man.
At the time,
quite a few years ago. And when I go up to give him the award, Me see the man a cry now. I say, hey, big man like you, I cry. And think the reason. The man I say, boy, Tegre. And me say, you a come give me the award. You know? Me have to cry. Yeah. Yeah.
I said the pride come over and I said, right,
Yeah,
turn
a whole heap of trouble we give him, man. Remember, I tell you,
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Them things, there are some things where in my life give me joy. You know them way,
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
And, you know, another thing I want to say about Rory as well, too, you know, say, as a youth going to school, math was never my favorite subject, you know. And he was never like my math teacher for any particular farm that I was in. But when it had come up to CXC time and exam time, them know him used to have some after class, you know.
Yeah.
And so my mom did really realize that, boy, I need some help and thing. So she made me sign up for class and thing. And, you know, Mr. McGregor was a teacher. And, you know, I want to tell you, say, you know, is that man kind of unlock my brain in a sense and help me to kind of figure out math to a point. I'm not going to tell you, say, I'm a great mathematician, you know, still, you know. But any calculation we want to do, you know, I can do it now. And that was the point of where in my life, more that I look back and say, Mr. McGregor, him did help me to unlock that mystery about math.
What you say? If it was a Mr. McGregor,
because of the way how him they teach.
Yeah. If it wasn't Mr. McGregor, if you count above 10, you'd have to take off the shows.
No, man, may I tell you. Yeah, man.
It makes
I go call all my son beside me and know if no one got to all 20. Him take off his shoes too. Yeah, man.
Make sure you learn the concept of maths that you need to take off his shoes.
Yes, man.
Enough man come and talk about him. He never teach me much because work on my school with me about in a fifth farm. You know, but me here, and I did I go for action and I say, how long? I say, about 40 years old, you know. And big time respect for him, you know, because when you think about it, say, I want to hold it against him, you know, because I want to rival school, you know. And I love him school. I want to hold it against him, you know.
Yeah. No, they didn't talk about that all the while, you know. It's telling so we almost give honorary.
Yeah, man, I adapt him. I don't love him. We don't love him purpose school. We don't love it. But him love me. For a man say I want to play for 40 years, man. I have to respect him. Him is one man, may I tell you, say. I just say, he probably got more cricket match at Meadowbrook than anybody else, you know.
Yes, man.
So, you know.
More cricket match. I was there in the early days. He was the scorer after Do. You see what I said after Do left back.
Yeah, man. It was a sport man, all round man. Football man.
Yeah, man. He played all of the matches, man. Right.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
Yes, man.
And
not only just at the matches, you know. Remember, like all when they come all sports day and them time,
yeah,
and when yeah, man. It was out there with Mr. Neern and I think Mr. Harris and all them, man. They compete same way. Yeah, man. But and the teachers' races and things.
That's a listen to, you know, I realize, you know, I see him experience me have, you know, just come on Meadowbrook, you know. It's like, I don't know how it came about, you know. But anybody, if all the people will come out about this, you know, at some point in them life at Meadowbrook, you know, it's like them find a teacher was like a bigger brother to them, you know. And it's a big difference, you know. It's like you come in an environment, you know, and it wasn't a boss environment, you know, but at the same time, them now make you get out of your responsibility and a carelessness, you know. So I'm going to draw you one side and I say, no. And I'm going to tell you, when Mr. McLean and Rory to make sure, say, keep on up. Because literally, the things say, I punish them, I punish, you know. But if I keep on out that trouble and I teach and respond, and then forget it. The fact that you can turn on and you get Rory award and you take a responsible job, Shane, and have your own family and all them with it. Like me, I say, you don't forget them things there. You don't forget them.
No, man. And it's a pleasure to me, as me say, you know. And it's an honor even now, too, if you can know, say, all right, even though I don't see the people physically some of the time, but can link up on Facebook and me know, say, all right, yeah, man. I know say me and Mr. McGregor link up on Facebook, you know, and when all him Earth Strong come round, me can see that and me can link him and say yes man, and you know, yeah man, can heal up and think, yes man, is a thing man, for no say yes man. Cause like you know another time too, like probably about a year or so ago, me there at the entrance to my workplace out on the highway there, Ocho so, and me see one vehicle I drive around the corner, and when me look, Mr. Garden, who he was an industrial arts teacher at the time, you know, woodwork and them thing there, and he was one of my farm teacher at one time too, you know, when we, you know, the upper farms, them, you know, with like me and people like Minot and people like them, they were, you know, we look up to this man because, as you say, he was a man like Mr. McGregor himself too, because he might interact with you as a youth, but him not make you feel like you is a youth, even though you know the discipline and the distance in terms of like how the relationship going on, you know, say you're a student and him a teacher, but you never feel that inhibition then, so to speak, to express yourself to these people.
Make you feel
no,
yeah.
So yes, man, you know, Mr. McGregor and Mr. Garden, yeah, man, those were the two people for me who were like, you know, as you mentioned, the big brother figure they know, you know, who, yeah, man, you know, say, boy, when they interact with you, as me say, yeah, man, you feel a sense of like, you feel like, yeah, he's a person, yeah. Yeah, man, you never feel like just a student or less than or anything. Yeah, or like this person just try to discipline you or whatever. It was more just about, you know, trying to get the best out of you as a person. Yeah, man.
We have an interesting story to you know, Shane. We have a very interesting story.
With Mr. Garden.
We include Mr. Garden, you know, man. That's the most. Hey, Jelly, I want to tell you, probably after we tell that story, the podcast will be done.
Well, go on, we hear it. Go.
I can tell you how it go.
All right.
Me and Shane fight quite a few times too, you know.
Well, we expect that. You're friends.
You know, as youths, man, you have your disagreements, man.
Yeah, man. But I want to tell you something, you know, Jerry. Me and Shane fight now with our school, and we in a little fight, and we all fight for all of 15, 20 minutes. And when we're done, we'll go up. And me and him walk beside each other and go up with them.
Yeah.
Same way. Yeah, man.
I'm going to tell you the most interesting fight with me and Shane now. And boy, it's such a joy if we can understand about them things here. And it's just talk we are talking about.
Afterward,
you know?
yeah, man.
Afterward.
Animosity or nothing, yeah, man.
No, not at all. But here the fight you're going on. I don't know where it was, you know. But me and Shane a fight from school, you know. And so we start a little fight, and then we walk.
We did have a disagreement, man. To be honest, I don't remember.
You don't remember where it was? Yeah.
But we have a disagreement, and we argue it out all the way from school. I come along, and we reached down to the foot of the hill.
Near the foot of the hill.
Yeah, man, I was still in the argument. Cause I right at the bridge we didn't reach, man.
Yeah, man, I was start fight.
And we decided, say, hey, you know something? We are going to fight it out, you know. But we are say, we don't want to do it on the road, you know, we uniform and all of them things there. And we decided, say, we're going to turn back and go back up at school, you know. No, I don't know if we did start the fight.
I know, so it goes straight, we start fight. Right. I'm on party. Yeah. I'm on part the fight. I will go a little further down the road and we still argue.
Yeah.
And we say, we reach near the foot of the hill, and we say, here we go. Mr. Shane, I could go back up at school, go fight out this, you know. I know, so we walk from the foot of the hill.
We turn back, man, and go back at school, man.
Me and him walk together, go up at the school, you know.
Go around on the first, yeah, man, go around on the first farm block there.
Hear the wicked thing now. I can't Shane did have some orange in him back. So we reach on there, Shane take out him knife, you know, peel him orange, eat him orange, and when him done, him say, you ready? Put up him knife, and the two of us start fight.
Kind of knife. No weapon involved in them fight.
No, man. We are no bad boy, them we the man. We are troublemaker, but we are no bad boy.
about ideally hour and a half around that fight for, you know. I mean, I tell you, I get tired now, you know. And I not tell a lie. Me just, at the first, I admit it. I'm glad when Mr. Garden come to me.
Well, you know, say, I did actually, the groundsman did come on, and I don't remember his name right here. Buckle, we used to call him.
Buckle,
Him did come on and see we and him call Mr. Garden, and Mr. Garden now Tegre and carry around at the industrial arts room, you know, and you know, like
so,
it, all right.
So lock up in there, so him lock up the two with there, so we for clean it up.
Lock up in the room and say we for go and cool off and thing and
clean it up. No, we for clean it up. I would say we not. But then him lock up for about half hour and then him let you out and the two would just walk go home.
But then another interesting thing, you know, before we even walk go home, you know, after Mr. Garden come now and hold where we run at the industrial arts block there, you know. It's like the two with the argument are go and see way, you know. Because this time now we are arguing over who give who the hotter lick and who give who which thump and who give who which lick.
I will argue who win the fight, you know. But,
yeah.
As I'm saying, at the first, I admit it. I did glad when Mr. Garden come.
So hold on. Tell me say, when you go a 15-round bout, and no crowd never did it because everybody gone already.
No crowd. That was a two-away.
I remember, you know, and we lost and leave the school anyway.
Yeah, we lost and forgot walk yeah. So
yeah, man.
The late not even everybody gone home, and maybe one or two.
Yes, man, everybody they gone home, man. And the groundsman come see me, man, and call Mr. Garden, him the round I'm officer, I do some work after school.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, man.
And you realize the beauty in that? I'm just going to ask you this. Mr. God never said nothing more to him about the fight. I remember carrying to Miss McLennan the next morning.
No, him check. No, him say him go carry with the next day. Him say him carry, but him never follow through.
Right.
No,
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because it's exactly what makes it.
No, but him discipline we are ready.
Right.
Don't knock you up and say, all right, clean up the shop.
And wait till about I say, the man they didn't know exactly how to deal that way there. Them not taking no further. Them know say the two and a friend. And it's like when you just want some steam for blow off. And you say you have to respect them man there, you know, because some things with them do and low we for do as youngster for the things. But
man.
So yeah, go ahead, Tegre. Exactly.
I just wayward with it, wayward do it, man.
Yeah, after reach I don't know walk up.
Yeah, man.
Right up the back one.
But you have to tell the story, you know, for anybody that's know about that fight, apart from Mr. Garden and the groundsman, you never tell anybody at school.
No, we probably
just for friend them, you know, like the youth them who that did walk home with otherwise. You know, Ethan and Gavin Edwards them youth there, you just mentioned, but you know, nobody never know about the fight. That was we just put on a fight.
It's not the first time we're public talk about a fight, you know, when nobody know about that 15 rounds.
No, them time me I say me win the fight and she and I say I'm win the fight.
And today you can't remember one of that fight about.
I don't remember, me honest. I don't remember that. All I know is that fight, the plan. Can we walk from the hill foot, go up there, you know. Relax and rest. And she and rest and eat in orange.
When him telling you can't go home, you know, and just walk home together.
Yeah, man, that's how we walk.
Man. We walk down the hill foot together, man.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
I remember another question, little bit. Any fun memories you have in a training, on the training ground or in a classroom, or a field trip when you want to tell me about where? When you remember a field trip, or on the training ground, or something in the classroom, I said, jelly.
Well, we have a whole heap of fun.
All right,
as cadet.
With field trip, a cadet, no, we'll go out on cadet camps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I remember different cadet camps where we go, you have different instances where, like, all right, for one of the camp where they go on camp in like about 83 over by St. Thomas. We go at Trinityville High School.
Which
St. Thomas. Yeah, man. And so, like the first night, I remember the first night, a whole heap of girls start to scream and make noise because they must say them sit dopey in the bathroom and them not stay there and them want to go home and, you know, so it's like, yeah, them think they did find things like them think they're funny, you know, because even to this day, me is not one of them man they were believing a dopey and them kind of thing there, you know. Me understand spirit and me know the spirit world and me believe in a spirits and me know say spirits and demons and things can possess people and all it. But like if you say you see one dopey, meaning like one apparition of something where they dead and gone and you know, me no know if me understand them levels there, you know. So like me did find things like them they're funny, you know. And we went to Titchfield High School again the year after that, and it was like a similar experience, you know. But different from the dopey experience, you have a whole heap of other range of experiences, you know. What we could have talked about, you know. And you had like youths now who were in the cadet now who like did make that memorable, you know. Different from like the youths them now who did play sports and all of these things who we associate with on the sporting level now, yeah, the cadet level now where it was like almost like a different set of youth them, so to speak. Not for them. You know? Yeah, the Andrew Ferguson and you know, you mentioned before like our youth Stiffy, you know.
Alfred Hermit.
Yes, man, Alfred Hermit, you know. You know, Norman Nar, you know.
Norman Nar,
yes,
John Major.
And, yes, man. And so, you know, names them too.
Chana too, you know. Chana.
Yes, man.
Chana, we did have on the program. Chana was the first drum major. But we never in a drum corps when Chana was drum major. We moved to drum corps when Nar was drum major.
Yeah, man, like Swaby from before, you know. Yeah, man. So like these were like fun memories where we did have now when we go out on the cadet camps. You know, you had the training and all of them thing there. You know, you had experiences where you go to even like up park camp through the whole cadet experience. You know, you go up park camp on Founders Day parades and all of these things, and like you go get the opportunity now to go even places like Twickenham Park. You know, daily trophy shooting competition and stuff like that. So these were experiences where, you know, the cadet did afford us on a different level from the sporting level. You know?
And by the way, Meadowbrook cadet was one of the top.
Yeah, man, we're one of the top
units.
Yes,
was
man.
One of the top units as well. So,
but you know, talking about cadet, I talk to him one day and I come up on the program. And I might not know him. I remember Never Foster.
Yes, man.
Yeah. Never Foster was a little before me.
Yeah, man.
It was before our time.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
I never see him. Him leave Meadowbrook. Him leave Fifth Farm the year me leave Fifth Farm.
Yes,
so I don't know if him repeat. But him come up and I link him up and I talk to him and him tell me say him are the first one organized, the first female cadet corps in the island, you know, at Meadowbrook.
I think that's true. Meadowbrook was the first.
Yeah, man. Him organized that. Him organized that.
Yeah, man. When I came to Meadowbrook, you know, that was at that time when that first female cadet unit.
Yeah, man. He had the foundation of that, man. He was the one who made get off of the ground. So I'm proud of that, man. 40 years ago, I'm proud of that, man. More 40 years ago. So just I mention it because I wasn't a member of the cadet thing. And this is the beauty of Meadowbrook, you know. You have so much different avenues you can go down, you know, forget the experience.
Yes, man. Different areas where you can express yourself.
Yeah. Cadet was another one of them apart from sports. And sports, you have different sports team you can play. But it's like, you have the opportunity to express yourself. And as the motto said, to make your light shine. So different ways. Because you just think about it, you know. The cadet thing, what's up? When we're not telling about it, you know. It's like me, I grudge it and I say, right, just I go up on them trip there night time or I see overnight. It sounds like them making a nice cricket trip.
These were like about 2 week experiences, you know.
Even better, right?
Yeah, man, you're out there, man. A camp.
But we can't decide doing the school holiday. This I like doing holiday.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can usually during the Christmas holiday or during the summer holiday.
Right.
Yeah.
Now organize it from before.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yep.
go on,
Sorry.
Clarke.
All right, as we mentioned, even the cadet unit here now too, I remember being in first farm, and my first thing with the cadet unit was the drums. Why, hey, when you hear them drums they start, man, and you hear the beat, it was like wherever you are, whichever class you're in, you're drawn to it. I know that was a feeling I had. Like you want to come and you see the drum of them and everything, and then you want to know to be part of that too. And then you realize, eventually, me did get to be a part of the drum corps after a time. So it's like you see these things and you're fascinated with it from your first farm, and then you actually have the realization of it before you leave school. So yeah, man, it was just a great experience to being in the cadet. The discipline where it stands for, the tactical thinking and the awareness of mind where it give you, this whole thing of respect for command and stuff like that, is just a great experience, man.
Yeah, I have a question to one about that though, because I listen to it just come to my mind, because that personal question to the Tuana, because the Tuana was in cadet in a certain way. I'm just I want to know why someone follow through and become big time members in the security forces from Meadowbrook and only never look like only even enter in the security force. That what the difference in
all right. So all right, me low down T for answer first.
Go ahead, T.
Well, in my case, I actually wanted to become to join the army at one point. And I mean, over time that changed, and that's why I made it go in a cadet, because me did think I could join the army, and then one of the time, we said I go to the air proficiency, because I could turn a pilot in the army. But I think when we get more wayward, then things are kind of change. At the end of the day, maybe we just never have the discipline at a later age. For join the army. Yeah, for follow through.
Yeah.
I have no regrets about that still.
No, it's not even a regret question, Dante. Trust me, not even a regret question. It's just a curiosity in my mind, because you wouldn't be the first one to join it, and it's like, only not pursue it for started. Go ahead.
Other persons have done so. All right. So for my experience now, it's just the same as where Tegre said a while ago. Like being in the cadet, you get used to this whole military thing, and then, as me say, getting the opportunity also to go to up park camp and camp out and be able to interact with the soldiers them up there and thing, and get involved in shooting competitions and them things there. So you handle firearms and all these things now. It's like it become interesting. And so this whole thing of being an officer in the army, it did appeal to me, and all of that. But then, on leaving school, like the academics weren't there for support that wish and things. So when I did leave school initially, I go by up park camp and make some inquiries and all of that and thing. But for me, at the time, I don't think the private thing did too appeal to me, as I said, the academics never support being an officer, and the private thing never appealed to me, and so I find myself going in a different direction. And then afterwards, just like what Dante say, you get to appreciate and give thanks that, you never did go that way there still. But, initially there was an initial interest in the army.
I don't want to take it as a criticism question.
No, man.
It's just a
question. Me understand the question fully, man. And yes, man.
Going out and you say, someone stick it, go through. Not even stick it out. It's like when you change or whatever, and you say, I just life. Me understand, but let me ask you a question now. I forgive me if this so naive to ask a question, but me just don't know. And this is why I ask the question. When you look up and cadet camp and you turn around, shooting and all them things. Live rounds, learn to shoot.
All right. So when we went to up park camp, yes, there were live rounds. When we went to up park camp, the first time I handled a firearm, we were in an enclosed area.
Yeah.
There was a training area, and at the end of the rifle shoot, you had, I think, what they had like lead on the wall, or one big thick concrete wall covered with lead. So when you fired your shot, so to speak, it would stop against that lead background. So it was in a controlled area that we first learned about the weapon at first and how to use it, the safety rules and all of that. And you were closely monitored. And so after a while, those who were more responsible got selected to be on the team to enter the shooting competition, which we went on to Twickenham Park to do those competitions. And so while you're there, you're still being monitored, because I remember on the first day when we went there before the whole competition started, they gave you like 10 rounds, and you got an opportunity. Yes, man, these are live rounds. You got an opportunity now to do free shooting, but you had the range with like the target way down the range, and so you could just shoot at your own ease. But this now was done under supervision, just the same, and to see how you handle the rifle in an open range. And I remember there was one young man. He was a sergeant from some school in Clarendon. I don't remember the school he was. And his shooting was like erratic, going over the place. And so after I met the first 3-4 shots, them take away the weapon from him, and him never get to participate in the competition. So yes, it was live rounds that we were firing, but we were closely supervised, so
that if I'm curious that you don't have to talk about him just withdrawn quickly and out of harm's way.
Yes, man.
Because the next question and all them questions I ask you, because me was not part of that environment, I don't know. It's like me, I say, so what type of gun do I use? What size gun and the type of gun? It's a rifle.
At first, the first initial training that we had, that I remember, we were using some 202 rifles.
202 right.
And then we graduated to 303 rifles for the competition.
But them rifle, the big man them I use, so a schoolboy on the field, them never too heavy phone or
No, you manage them quite well, and once you take in the instruction from the instructors who were there as to how to safely hold the rifle, how to safely place it against your shoulder while you're shooting and stuff like that, it was like from you follow the instructions, man, you're able to manage.
You're good. You're good.
Yes.
You're good.
Yes.
I understand. I mean, I just ask some question because when things come up and me don't know about it, I something like begin and ask questions.
Yeah, man, no problem, man. No problem.
Other people are listening might be as naive and as ignorant as me when it comes to them things.
Yeah, man, I share what they are sharing, man. So,
Exactly. So, but may I ask you something though? I don't know about that about the fight again, because that was in an embarrassing moment. That's a big time moment where it's a 15 round. It's not even a fight, it's a training session and I go through this. Tuano. Because I got a Tuano me talk to anyway. It's like the most embarrassing moment you can look back with a smile. Meadowbrook. You go first, Shane, since this are you are the star, you are the main guest on this program, man.
I'm the guest.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So the most embarrassing moment, I'm going to tell you 2 moments, and one of them would have been an embarrassment. The other is not an embarrassment, but it depends on how you look at it. So the first moment, it had to do with cadet as well. I was on a cadet training, in the afternoons after school, you had cadet training and all these things, So at cadet training, you have these things now where your attention, so you lift your foot and you stamp and you turn right and you turn left and so while doing an attention in cadet practice one evening, I found myself the pants rip right through the back. So yeah, man, so my pants tear right out. And, see, my little brief and thing. So for me, that was like that embarrassing moment for me at school. The other one, as I said, no, which I will speak of, it depends on how you look at it, but it wasn't really an embarrassment for me. Dan T and some other brethren, like, I don't know how would they come up with that whole bet or whatever, but like them did bet me one day, man, say, me can't come to school with one scandal bag.
You put your book in a scandal bag.
Yes, man. And so the evening, I go home, man, and I get my scandal bag, man, and I take off my strap off of my regular school bag and put it through the two handle of the scandal bag and put over my shoulder, man. And I reach a school, and I'm there at school for the whole day with my scandal bag, and people are looking and tease me and them a laugh. But at the end of the day, it wasn't an embarrassment to me. It was just fun to me because
no, that was an event. That was an event.
Yeah, well, you think like a big thing, a small thing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. What
I was never one of them kids that were easily embarrassed them way there,
You just have a business shame because. But before because when I listen to my experience, but my first day at Meadowbrook, I'm a boss about it, is a green dulce me carry for my
me ear.
and the beauty about it is that my holiday never look at me and say, boy, Lancy, I idiot, She just love me and go on because we just have a business. And I never remember if anybody laugh after me or not. I never care.
Well, as you talk about that green dulce me in a crepe, it brings me back to another thing, which I was forgetting, but it just come back to my memory now. When I was in first farm, after the first term was like from September to December, and say when we go up on the holiday, for the Christmas holiday, the day before coming back to school, me don't know me dey on a ramping and a jollification on my yard and thing, and it's like I go buck off my toe. So like the big toe up on my right foot, my buck off, and so now my school shoes that I had, I wear 1 foot of school shoes, which is on the good foot, like the left foot of school shoes, and then me have one booger, one old booger. I don't know if you know them booger.
You can cut out the whole of the front. That is
man, I cut out the front. And so that was how I go to school. Me have a booger on 1 foot and me have my right school shoes on the other foot. And I go to school, and then you have a youth now in a school now, in my class at the time. We in an English class, man, and things are going okay and then the teacher now go ask if we make up sentences using names of students in the class. And this youth now in the class, Gary Flash, him in the police force now, superintendent and thing, So it's like theme thing now was like Shane has a sick toe. And right away, the whole class erupted in laughter, man. So, that might have been considered an embarrassing moment to me. But, it was all in good jest, though, man.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
So, Dante, you have any?
Boy, the first time because we have a series of time, when, boy, that is always the first time when I get called up in the assembly. I mean, she didn't get called up too. And the way Spanner do it, she have a preamble and she talk, and then she talk about the incident, and then she said, these two boys. And it's when she said, these two boys, you have a group of people around me, and everybody, it's like the nose and the toe, everybody just shaking, So it's like the two of we alone, just the writing and the big like the assembly hall. Yeah, man, and that to me remains that. So, in fact, you see, even when I became the president for the association, and the first time I go up on the thing there, but a little nervous because I
you remember that? I remember. Yeah, step up on the little step.
Yeah, man, you have to step up and she call up the two way up there, and so she have a little thing where she gives some fast clap on your shoulder with her hand.
Yes, man.
She give me a few of them the And
Yeah, you know, feel out, but I
yeah, cause she move hard like a bee's wing, you know, man. You get all 50 slap in a second. Yeah, man. So
yeah.
that's remain. I want to a little moments there, you know. Jelly, there was a thing, you know, when we did graffiti, the thing,
The banner.
yeah, man, and the dread, cause Spanner called me in our office, and Spanner say, boy, Tegre, this is it. Now you have to go. Can't hold you any longer. You have to leave now. And thing
And then behind our farm,
time,
about a third farm.
about second or third farm. Third farm, right. Second or third, yeah. And it's like the dread a pass and come into the office and the dread, you know, Spanner, I said, and the dread says, okay, Mrs. McLean, I'll deal with it. Simple like that, you know, that's right. And she said, okay, and she said, and deal with it, and the dread. Cause remember, say me, I think we did have some other cricketer play, so the team was training.
Maybe a practice Evelyn Cup or something like that.
Yeah, Evelyn Cup or something.
Yeah.
Someone when I was playing some more cricket and thing, and Dread say if me I come training, I'm say, yeah man, as usual. And him say me for meet him in the office after school for carry around the gears them. And when I go through the same woodwork place that's and go down, when I go through, you know, it's Dread organized the whole cricket team for me, you know, man. Yeah, man. So, I get some rotten lick the day, you know.
But you never feel no way, because I said that better than Dave.
That better than you get expelled.
Yeah, because at that time, you know, it's like you can't visualize a leave Meadowbrook at all. You enjoy yourself.
You're mad, man. But I still have to come to school even if you get expelled.
If you show up, same way. Yeah,
but me and Shane get suspended and come school every day.
And still come school.
Oh, you mean,
yeah, man.
How that work? How to do that? Tell me about that. You want to get suspended at the same time?
Yeah, you come in your uniform and you come to school same time, man.
And you go in your class.
Yeah, but you kind of just keep a low.
Because
you can't make your parents them know so you're the
that part to me is the easy part because I just leave and come to school same way. But how to do that at school without get detected?
And everybody know we get suspended. So like the class teachers them don't know. And the one them who know, you know, go in other class there. So and you're there around the school, you don't go, you can't make spanners here, you have to stay away.
Yeah, that's the first thing you have to make sure you hide from spanner.
No, man, hey, you have to stay out of spanner eye, man, because, you know, say, she have a way where, because of how the office situate, and you have to pass side of the office there, so if you go down to like most of the first farm block, them the second farm block, up at the third farm block, over across span the court same way and everything. She have a view of all of that down on the field, certain parts of the field, you know, so you had to be skillful, man, you know, how you negotiate her. And she have this thing where, you know, she knows just stay in the office, she will walk around the school and go through the different card of them and, you know, see what happened and all of that. So, yeah, man.
So when I say, if she not say, you know, she suspended, you know, and who else would I know apart from she?
Well, your farm teacher would have didn't know more likely.
Yeah.
You know? So, but it wouldn't filter out to everybody. So you would have the opportunity, man. And if somebody even see you who know, by the time you move around to corner, you run and thing, sometime them not see where you turn and them thing there. So, you know, when me say give trouble at school now, or them trouble we give. You know? Yeah.
But me have a bridging where get it worse than that. Him teacher, the spanner send him for him parents and him carry a youth. Where him bridging, you know, him bridging on the corner, but a bigger youth than them, bigger youth than him. And the youth are come represent as him big brother. And the youth give him some rotted lick in
Front that spanner.
Yeah. when them confront the man now, the man that said, "Them enough, make it look real, man."
Because man not bite. If I'm not going like my father, I mean,
if I go like I'm big brother.
Yeah. I see that.
And just saying all of this and hearing and listening back to ourselves here now, we have to really give credit to all of these teachers, man, because really to see the stress where we as kids put them through, in just doing them jobs as they were doing at the time. And we as as you hear me describe myself as a troubled kid then, coming to school and you come with all of your little problems and thing. But as you say, these were the things where like help for keep we and for mold we, because you see when a teacher, whether it be out of the problem where you are give, but you see when a teacher take that time for stop, to see what it is where your problem is, or if they try to deal with you and your problem, whether it be through reprimand or it be through some other intervention or whatever it be, is a moment, because as me say, that was where you never did get a yard, you get licks a yard. And that was it.
But you not get no compassion.
No time for stop and say, okay, but why you did do this, or why you did do this, or why that did happen? You just get licks. Something happen, you just get licks.
You fix the problem.
No discussion, you just get licks.
Yeah.
So man, is maximum respect, man.
Yeah, man.
Goes out to these teachers,
They might try to teach them for changing the behavior.
Man, Meadowbrook was that place, man, where they'd have some teachers there where, the teachers, them, they're really involved in our students' lives. As I say, like when we go back again and we talk about Mr. McGregor, or we talk about Mr. Gooden, Mr. Garden, like, in them interaction with you as a student, never look on the trouble where you get as a child, them just look on how them can help you along. And them, there was no judgment.
Yeah.
Miss Nevins teach me too, she teach me geo.
Geography.
She teach me geo. Cause Miss Nevins, she used to go Meadowbrook. She used to go Meadowbrook before, right?
Yes.
Probably just leave Meadowbrook and thing. And but I see her, and she look younger than me right now. See her. She had a twin sister too, I think.
Yeah, some year.
Yeah, she had a twin sister, yeah. I'm saying her twin sister mistake her for her,
Okay.
And she said it's not she, yeah.
And she was much older than we still. She was a young teacher when she was
She was a young teacher at the time. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Probably about 10 years older.
Yeah.
Well, I may ask another question, because I believe it or not, they converse over 2 hours already, and then they realize all the time fly. But we just go on. We not watch your time. Because we talk. What the best learning experience you get from Meadowbrook, Shane?
The best learning experience I get from Meadowbrook. Wow. That question, take me by surprise. In terms of just an experience or all right. So now that I think of it, let me give an example now. And as I say, sometimes I feel ashamed that my memory not as bright as more than I want it to be. In 84, 85, I graduated in 84. And this is a testimony to the commitment of some of the teachers at the school at Meadowbrook there at the time. I graduated in 84, but as you hear me say, I never did do all that well for my exams and stuff. And so I did have to do a repeat of fifth form, and that was partly facilitated by Mr. Gooden's recommendation and all of that. And when I repeated, I repeated in 11-4. And this was Dante's class. Me and Tegre now end up in the same class together.
Yeah.
You know? So, in doing that repeat, I had to do additional subjects because at the time, initially, I had taken 5 subjects or 6 subjects, and I did pass like about 3-4 of them.
That's the first time.
So, yes, the first time. So I had to do over math and history, and so for me to repeat, I had to now take on additional subjects what I never did do before, because they must say, all right, them can't allow me to repeat for those 2 subjects and stuff like that. So I now had to do POB, Principles of Business, and also technical drawing, in addition to the math and history that I did miss out on. And so that POB teacher, so is this me I say no, I don't remember her name, a wonderful lady, she said to me that she would give me the opportunity and she would give me the chance if I got all the notes from the 4th form year. And so because POB was at the time a 2-year course, and I was proposing now to do it in the 1 year. So I had this friend now who lived close to me at the time, Peter Townsend. He had done accounts before, and so I check him and I get the 4th form notes and everything from him, and so I was allowed to enter the class. And because I was only doing the 4 subjects and not full requirement of subjects, I had some spare time as well to during the day. Like there were shifts and times when I wasn't scheduled for a class, and she actually allowed me. She taught our class POB at the time, 11-4, but she allowed me the opportunity when she was teaching other classes. Once I didn't have a class, I could come and sit in her class at the time. And so because of that, I flew through that POB exam. It was like me do over the math and me get a creditable score upon the math and thing, and the history me get a creditable score upon the history, but the POB is like me did just fly through the POB. And you know, as me say, me just say that now too, you know, when you ask about a memorable experience and whatever, in terms of like with a teacher academically or so, this was like the experience where I could think of and come up with the dedication of the teacher, you know, and just this whole thing of giving you that chance then, so to speak.
The second chance.
Yes, man. Yes, man. And then to see that it did work out well. And, you know, even though, as I say, I don't remember her name, I'm glad that at one point after leaving school, I actually saw her on the road, and I was able to relate to her and to tell her thank you, you know. And so, yeah, I think that would have been the experience where I did highlight as a memorable education.
For the record, Shane, for me, when we take O-level at the time, whenever I started 6, that's 2 subjects I passed, you know. So I had to repeat 5th form too.
Yes.
I never see myself as a troubled or a wayward child. It just me never interested in a schoolwork. I never see the purpose side really. I just want to play sports or if I sit here I go watch some netball match or Go look some
Yeah,
what
yeah,
or something.
yeah. Because you see, as youths, as you say, sometimes you don't really see the purpose or the necessity of certain things.
I feel my feel now the first time I'm see my friend in the park. I say, I want me the wrong here, so because I say,
Yeah, man.
in my mind, I say, if them can't do it, me know me can't do it. So me never pay attention to it and all the way. But in a year, me just I tell you that no, because you pass 3 subjects, which is one more than me. If I message you, and at no point in them ever think say me trouble or me behind or nothing. Me just say me never read.
No. All right, and all right. It was nothing where me did feel inadequate or anything like that.
Yeah.
And it was nothing of where me never like feel like say boy me as brilliant as the other children in a school or any stuff like that. But as me say, and when me speak of the troubled child and troubled past, this is just something where me speak of in the past, and me speak of it now as an adult because me are that kind of adult now where me very forthright, me very forward. Me will look you in the eye and just tell you the things, and me not hide things. Me not try to hide my past or to try to.
From your youth,
Yeah, me are that kind of person the way me very forthright and forward, man. So as me say, while now. Me no in that state or that condition of mind because now me have one very positive, confident, hopeful, forward thinking kind of person and me help to inspire other people in other way there as well too, but me still use my past and my experience to see where me I come from and where I am now, and then it also helps now too when me can identify with a kid now too, just as what you say, like we could have look on a kid now or a young person now who fails some of them exams now and say to them, say, hey, say when me did take exams at first, me did feel, even in talking to my kids now, me use myself as an example, because we can say to them, say, hey, say, yeah, me did do this or me did do that or this never did happen for me or that never did happen to me because of so and then me help them to unravel and understand the world for them own terms, so that them can achieve as much as them can for them own way, so
failure does say you up, man. Failure no exist in my vocabulary. It's not even
none at all.
The only time you fail when you stop trying. That's how we look on it.
No.
That's how we see. I mean, you might not have the ability for the certain things. So it's not even a failure. You just a change gear. You change course. Yeah, move something else. You follow me?
Because everything in life, is really just an experience, and a journey. So you travel along the road, you take the experience, or you take the journey, because really it's like the whole example of the glass being half full or empty.
Yeah, I
so
just look on it.
Yes, it's half empty, or you can say it's half full, and then you have that hope and that prospect of
either half full. So like I said, the half full type of person, it always can get a little better. That's just it. No half empty. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man.
But you mentioned a man name. I the same Peter Townsend where attorney a Jamaica where the a different branch.
No, that's a different Peter Townsend.
Okay. We just want to clarify that.
Peter Townsend was in my year, not my class, but my year.
Okay.
And in fact, he's a man who was a part of the thing, the crew too, Ilfoot crew. He used to walk with the Ilfoot and thing. Yeah.
I live up in the at the time.
Yeah, man. No, he used to live
Meadowbrook Estate.
Meadowbrook Estate.
Yeah. All right, Shane, I'm going to move on. So, life lesson you learn at Meadowbrook, you pass on to your friends or family.
All right. Say life lessons generally me just pass on to everybody who me interact with, because as it is now, I'm not going to tell you that I'm a saint, I'm far from a saint, but me are one good person. And so in all of my doings and in all of my interactions with people, try to interact with people on a positive level. And, so the life lessons when we get out of Meadowbrook is like just the whole experience of learning and the whole experience of friendship You know, it enriched my life. No, and Meadowbrook, like at one point, got to an institution where at one point I think we're in like top the top 5 or so performing schools in Jamaica.
There were
that time when Mrs. Lowe was the principal.
No, they were the top. They were the top shade.
The top school. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, me I said 5, because I couldn't remember if it's the top or not. So yes, and so throughout the years, being at that institution now and the learning where you get there is like, as you say, even as kids, realize it at first as a kid, but then when you leave school and you start forgetting of the world now, you start to look back on some of the experiences and this whole thing of reading where they instilled in me from a child and enforced in me more when me there at Meadowbrook, and when me say enforced, not like it in a forceful way, but just by the whole introduction of the different literary works and what we would have to do, like from first farm days where we have books like Escape to Last Man's Peak, and then you get introduced to things like Julius Caesar and all of these things. It's like excuse me, it kind of open up your mind now to a wider perspective, a wider knowledge. And I find say in my life now today, that has helped me in my continued quest and search for more knowledge. And I use that in a way in my work now. Being as somebody who work at IRFM and the radio sometimes. The music that I play, I understand now the power of sound, and I understand the power of the word, and I understand how words can affect people and how it affects people. There was a point of time in my life when in my earlier years, after 2 bad experiences in a work, I find myself out of a job for a while. And I did that home in that period of time there, to the point of where it's like you just never want to get back in a society. It's like it was a learning experience for me. I did start get to know myself and, looking at myself more, understand responsibility more, how you play into things when things happen to you, what you could have do to make the thing happen differently or to get a different or a better outcome, stuff like that I start to question. And so I start to see myself in a more positive light, in a better light, in a different light. And so now, when I'm on the radio, because of them experiences, them knowledge of what I gain from Meadowbrook, from that opening of the mind, and then also now coming to understand the power of the word and seeing that work in my life in a point in a time where, I needed to find myself. And it was a word where it challenged me through the scriptures and through music, positive music, people like Bob Marley, people like Garnet Sill, people like Tony Rebel, and them music then all start to inspire me. And then me get back to Iron Ore, where I've been at Iron Ore for almost 30 years and involved in the music in other way, So I now use the music when I get the opportunity to play that kind of music where to lift people's spirit, where to make people understand responsibility, where to make a youth know say him can believe in himself, him can try, him can do it, him can achieve certain things, And so that is how now I find Meadowbrook and the learning experience when I get a Meadowbrook, me use that now in a that way to be a help to other people. And not only when me on here through playing the music, but just in a general interaction with people on a whole, on a level, me at a point in my life where I'm free and I feel free in my mind and in my whole being and interaction with people. So I will go downtown and I'm down in a Ocho town, and my wife is the same way because she's of the same level of thinking and education. And so we go downtown and we will sit down on all the road with all one madman, one cokehead or something like that. And you try for reason with them and you try to understand what it is we get them from there, and then you use that now for maybe formulate radio programs now, which you can use to put out there for help people, for like uplift themselves out of them situation there, or not get into it in the first place, So I find, as I said, that learning where you get from Meadowbrook, that love for learning, that love for reading, that love for words and understanding of the knowledge of sound and how it affects you and your life, and so that is why I use now for interact and for affect other people, those who I can, with that experience from Meadowbrook.
Yeah, man. The word is a powerful thing. A lot of people realize.
Yes, man.
The word comes first,
And that is when, if anything that I get from Meadowbrook is that respect for the word. Yeah, man. Because as we say, just by the literature books and stuff that we had to use, and introduction to material where we never did know or used to from before. Different introduction to different ideas.
Yeah.
Because if you start to think more, for looking at yourself more, for understand things more, and for just have that general knowledge and this thirst for knowledge, really, this quest for knowledge. Yeah.
Because every action in your mind, where you do, begins with a thought,
Yes, man. Yes, man. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was made flesh, and the flesh was amongst us and become.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
It's a deep thing to understand. It take a long time for people to understand it. Take a long time for me to understand it. Sometimes I think about it and I say, yeah, man, it's hard to explain to people, Because sometimes you feel it instinctively, because it sounds like you, I didn't want some music. You entertainment behind the scenes long time, and you realize the power of the words, Shane. And
yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I want to tell you, say, that come out of an experience too, because you hear me, I tell you, say, there was a time when, I did 2 jobs before, and then I find myself out of a job, and you hear me, I say, I find myself at a point where I did, I look into myself now, and I get to know myself and all of that. So, that experience, I was fired from the job that I am now doing. At Irie. I worked at Irie, and in the first year that I was there, negligence. Me have some at them time there, you had reel-to-reel tape and cassette and them thing there. It wasn't like CDs no, or digital tracks no, where people play off of them computer and stuff. So me had an experience one night where I was working for somebody, and me kind of tired, so me put on one cassette with some music on it, and at the end of that cassette there were some music there which was of the most derogatory nature. And I timed myself to say, okay, in the next 45 minutes, then me I go stop the cassette and me I go start to play a different set of music and thing. And as fate would have it, I fell asleep on the job. And so the music played out to the end, including all the derogatory songs that were on the tape and thing. And so all of that went out to the world from me. And so when I found myself out of a job, it was at first an embarrassment. I never even wanted to go back to my yard. And so I stayed with other family members until when I got back home and, started a different job now. And this job now included working with the word as well, and also with helping people, because I started a job now with Jamal. And this job now was as a field officer, where I was responsible for West Rural St. Andrew. So I'd go to areas even where Dante would live over in a Padmore there, and up by Rock Hall and in Red Hills, other areas, to find and recruit persons who were willing to learn, for advance them education. Yes. And so within the first month or two that I was doing that job, I was able, with the assistance of my parish manager, Mrs. Rita Taylor, to set up a class in Rock Hall at a school there, the all-age school at Rock Hall. And it was an achievement because they had been trying to do it from before and it was never done. And I came there and helped to get that in place. And so we trained some young people, in terms of learning to read and write. And when they got to that level now, then we trained them in some skills where they were able to graduate and stuff like that. And so in doing all of that, it was like an achievement for me, and so, but after a time, like you really wanted to get back into radio and all of these things. So you find, say, yes, you take the time now and you sit down and you get to know yourself and you get to understand yourself. And so, since coming back to Irie now, that is how I come back now with a new interpretation, like a new me, a new understanding of my purpose and understanding of what it means, for like impart that positive message to others, because I was at the point and at a point and a time where I needed a positive message. And it was like, as I say, it was through the music, through scripture and through the music word, like that word.
Yeah.
I get that. So yeah, man, that's why the sound and the word is so important to me now.
It's a powerful thing for me to share, because when we go through some things in my life, and the word I listen to most of the time, and the word come in all form, It can be music, it can be the written word.
It can be reading, it can be a whole lot of things, man.
Yeah, man, the word.
Yes, man.
Word.
And even the spoken word too, because, if you look back in your lives, as a youth, you hear what they are, we talk about with school experiences and also like some of the teachers and thing who did impact upon our lives and all of that. But if you notice growing up in a life, as a youth, you remember the persons them who did kind and good to you, as also you remember those who weren't too wonderful, in them treatment of you. And so the word also, can be a catalyst for a young person, because you can look on a young person, and tell them, say, hey, say you're not gonna come out to nothing good. As well as you may look on him and tell him, say, hey, say you're a wonderful young man and all the prospects of life out there for you, and you can do whatever you want to do or achieve. So the word is just how we use it, Yeah, man, and me strong on that. And that's why I hear me, I tell you, say, boy, even though I'm not really not saint, but I'm a good person, because everywhere I go, that I try to instill in the people, try to get them to understand the power of the word. One of the worst things to me, and I find it so common, for like somebody to look on somebody and like maybe somebody might hear me on a rare occasions. I don't do this often, but somebody might hear me come to one bad word, like BBC, Ray. And like you look on me like it's like the worst person you look on. And then on the other hand now, when me go around the corner, you the same person who did that look for me that way there. Me hear you now I tell somebody, say, oh, I hate that person, or I hate him. And these things now are things what we hear regularly. And it's okay. And it's normal. Even on the TV, you watch and you hear somebody say, oh, I hate that person and I will never ever speak to them in my... And you see, for me, them thing that way me consider bad word. I cannot find it in myself in no way, shape, nor form to look upon somebody and tell them I hate them. Because I don't hate people, and hate is a strong word for me, So that is what I mean when I talk about the power of the word and all of these things. I'm very careful and very conscious of what I say to people and how I say it to them, It's more for this year, whatever, which I don't do most times in a normal circumstances with people. Then I can, but me try in as much as I can, and live my life in as much as I can. Be wholesome and speak wholesome things to people, man. Because as a kid growing up, Me use my example of, how people were to me, and I had people who were beautiful in my life. As also, because I was a troublemaker, he'd have them people, where anything go on. All when I shame them, I tell the lie upon, and they know say I never shame. Them I go tell the lie upon him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and so me grow that way there, and so as me say, even with my own children and with everybody who I try to interact with, on a daily basis in a life. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
this is my.
That's how the beauty with even we there talking, because since the start of this thing, this conversation as I call it, enough people reach out to me, and it's like, and when I started to I say, if it's even one, I do it for myself first initially, in a sense. I say, even if me want to listen about them conversation at 10 years' time, I'm going to love them. But I realize, so people, and every conversation, however, I put out, somebody finds something different in every conversation. You might remember something. This one, I want to go next week, I know, train. Somebody can remember a particular thing, and somebody can remember something else. 5 or 6 man reach out to me and something different to remember in the podcast or the conversation.
Yes. Yeah, man.
The word, don't know.
Even like me and Dante, see what version of the fight,
Yeah.
Can't feel it. Because me I say I me win, and him I say him win.
Exactly. I like my race and P Brown race. Exactly.
Yeah. And my recollection of the fight, I me did win, man.
Yeah. But Dante said I've been best glad to the fight is over. So man.
Yeah.
Right. Me did not leave, but they get tired.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, run out of bread. Put that bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But may I ask you a question, Shane? What message you get to existing students, our future students, our staff member, a Meadowbrook list today, next year, or the following 10 years, or even when you're there, a man from Meadowbrook take up this and I say, right, what do you want Shane to tell us?
All right, so here we know, what message I would give to youths, any young youth, any at all. First of all, man, you have Kabaka Pyramid of one song. And you see, through me in the music field, me use music a lot because whatever circumstance or situation you can think of, me can just tell you one song off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And me use that with my children as well too. So Kabaka Pyramid of this song, where him say, believe. You got to believe in yourself. Yeah, he must say, boy, wait for nobody to come tell him say I'm great. Him wait for nobody to open up the gate. He must just believe in himself and he must go through. And, while saying that, it's like me I say, yes, youths have to believe in themselves, But, I'd also want to say as well, too, that youths have to have support as well. So, you see, as a youth, my thing what I did say to youths, is to just give yourself that chance. Give yourself that chance. Believe in yourself, first of all. Believe in the Almighty, that there's an Almighty Creator who have things in a balance and who guide things. Believe in the people who are there to help you. Your teachers, your parents, your family, the support structure where you have around you. Because sometimes that is the thing, a lot of kids feel like, say, boy, them can't talk to that person or them can't talk. When really sometimes if we just really take the time and just share or bear ourselves, you would have find, say, people that understand us more. And it's hard to tell a youth that, if you go just share, because, youths have them little secret and them little inhibitions, and at the same time, too, them lack the experience or the knowledge and all of these things. But I'd say to youths, surround yourself with that support team, people who believe in you, and not feel hard to share things with your parents, with your teachers, participate in events, make yourself active, make yourself useful, but as I say, more importantly, my thing is just believe in yourself, because, as a youth growing up through school, as you hear me tell you, and you hear me use the term and, said to me Ray about it and thing, but like this troubled child thing where you hear me mention. You see, going through school, even though I did have my little troubles and my little thing them where I never want to go home and pray and all these things, but hey, one thing me always remember with myself, I was like this kid where is like somehow while me I go through and me I do what me I do, me never feel like say boy me couldn't do nothing. Me did always feel like say me understand the world and me understand things and like me able to do things, you know. Part of that too was responsibility in terms of like from early out, like age 8, 9, my mom, we lived at various places across Kingston, St. Andrew before actually going to Red Hills to go live at when I was age 10, I go move go Red Hills go live. But we lived at various places across Kingston and St. Andrew before that. And so by the age of 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, me I take like 2 different bus. Me I leave home in a Waterhouse area. I take one bus go Cross Road and then one other bus go up Constant Spring Road to go to my school where me used to did go at a little private prep school, Stevenson Prep round back on Charlton Avenue there, so until me transfer from there, so now I go to Swallowfield and so now I start go Riddles Road, me I take number 3, and then my mom could have send me anywhere downtown and cross town and you know if you go pay a little partner money with a lady there. So it's like me understand responsibility from early out and me could have did maneuver myself from early out. So, you know, me did always just see myself as this little man. You know, this little person who just understand things. Me can take a bus and me know where me there, you know, and stuff like that. And so my find say that helped me as a child growing up. Me did have that knowledge of or this sense of self, even though me might not did have all of the requisite experience and knowledge where adult to they have in terms of how to treat and deal with situations in the best way, you know. But me did have this thing about me, man, as a little man, and so growing up is like it wasn't challenging for me as a little youth growing up, you know, that way there.
Oh, good. Well, we are winding up, you know, 2 last questions. I'm going to get Dante to answer the last question, but the magical question. But before that, Dante, just remember, bear that in mind, say, you're going to ask Shane the last question. And by now, you do this enough, you must know the last question. But let me ask him a question before we go to that, because I believe it or not, we'll come up to 3 hours, and believe it or not, almost at the 3 hours. And this go for you, Dante, first. Any question or topic where you think you could have asked Shane or bring up, but me never bring up any at all?
Yeah. As usual, I just think we have, you know, we've gone through the questions, apart from the last question. As usual, you know, when it comes to them type of thing here, maybe when you finish, you said there's so much more to say.
You want to say?
So, yeah. But you know, a good discussion. I think a lot came out, and what is good about this is that we're able to look at some of the other parts of going to Meadowbrook, even though sports is still central. We looked at the overall Meadowbrook
experience,
you know, experience.
Come on, that's glad
side of it.
Yep, no, I'm glad that Shane come on because I'm going to say Shane and I say Shane who? If I say to him, I play this time, I play that time, I know this. You see me I say to you, I'm going to say, you know what? From Tegre to more Shane and I say, I forget on Shane because as far as me concerned now.
Yeah, man.
Shane,
I Meadowbrook stalwart.
No, Shane is an ideal Meadowbrook man for me, comparison. I represent most of the man who go Meadowbrook, you know. Them dead, them proud of them school, them participate in enough things, and them support them school. You cut them a blue and green, you see I run through them vein, right through and through. So me I say, you know what? Me not forget on Shane. I'm glad you come on, Shane. So, but yes, man, is there anything where you think where you want to talk about? Any topic where they like bring up, but me never bring up at all. And you say, boy, Jelly should have asked me a question there. Anything, the floor yours. Anything where you want. Talk about where we never talk about. You know, so any special moments you want to mention, I say, boy, Jelly, let me tell you something what we never bring up at all.
in terms of school experience.
Yeah, man, school experience, yeah. Or even life, Shane. May I leave it up to you? Even life experience related to school.
I think we kind of cover a lot of it really still, because we look on the teachers and the influence that the teachers them have upon. We will look on the curriculum in terms of how like it help us here now towards being who we are, and we look on the sports and the interactions with people and the cadet thing and friendships and all of these things. So yeah, man, there's, as Dante says, so much more that could be said, and then when we finish the conversation, as we are saying, that so many more memories will come back to us that we could have say, all right, say we could have talked about this or that or whatever. But generally, I think, yeah, man, we kind of put it in a little capsule.
Yeah, man. That's at some point, that's all we can do. Let's put it in a little capsule and say. So go ahead, Dante. Ask the last question.
Yeah. So Shane.
Yes, man.
I guess you mentioned some of it before, but in a nutshell, what made Meadowbrook magical?
What made Meadowbrook magical? Wow. Say for me, I don't know if I can put my finger on any one thing. Right off of the top of my head, I would want to say the friendships. I had a lot of friendships at Meadowbrook, and when I say friendship, I mean, yes, people who you interact with and think on a daily basis, the persons who were in your class, then your grade group, and then the wider school community on a whole, and I find, say, like, really that camaraderie, whether they're at school, I still see it being exhibited even now, as I say, even on social media, when I see some of the interactions of, the coming together, the different people, them at the different homecomings and the different gatherings, whether for a funeral, whether it be for donate something to the school or, something like that. So I figure say that camaraderie, I still see it in place. And for me as a child, and because as you hear me mention about just my whole growing up and thing, I figure say friendships meant a lot to me then. They still do now, but to be honest, I find some of my friends few and far in between now. You have the persons like Dante, who, as we say, even if we don't see each other for all 10 or 20 years, them people is like, just in my heart, and it's almost like his family, So just like how I know say, boy, I not see my sister for a couple of years because she away and all of these things, but you still feel that bond and that friendship and that whole thing of like camaraderie, and say, boy, say this person, where you and them share these experiences and all of these things. So I think for me it was the friendships when I did develop at school, the friends I had wonderful friends while I was going at school, man, and so that for me, I did probably say was a magical thing for me at school. The friendships involve in other things, because, you participate as friends in a cadet and other different. Overall, I think it would have been the general friendship. If I could have did say one number two thing, I did probably go back now to the dedication of the teachers them, just how the teachers them, did, because Meadowbrook wasn't like one of them big school, like when I say big school, I not talk about in terms of like how long we've been around, but big in terms of the size, in terms of numbers of students who come to the school and thing. And so it felt like family. It felt like family. Just like how it would have feel now on Facebook, where if you see people share birthdays and big up others on them birthday, and as I say, you see that camaraderie and all the different activities and things. So that for me is where I found the magic, the friendships that I shared with many of these people who went to Meadowbrook. Yeah, man. And many of the teachers who participated in our lives while we were there at Meadowbrook. That's the magic for me.
Yeah, man.
Well said, Shane. That is, I endorse it 100%. I feel the same way about it is like almost like a family. The friendship was almost familiar, like a family.
Yes, man. Yes, man.
That's that feeling that I have to, and I try put my finger upon it too. I don't get it yet.
Hey, me no know. As me say, I can't even, as you say, try to put your finger upon it, and I can't explain it, But you see, when me see things like, as me say, even though me not involved, because me there all the way out of country, and sometimes choose for, be that as involved as me could be sometimes. But when me see like the past students them come together and me see the homecoming and me see Ciali Franklin and me see Salome and me see all of these people, Carlton, Facey and everybody come together, Maurice Minot, same way. Like it's like it just give me this joy. If you know why we are come back from 30, 40 years ago and still have this friendship, we still have this interaction and it's not just an empty friendship and an interaction, but is with a cause and with good purpose, like coming together for putting on events and stuff like that, for help back towards the school and stuff like that. When they come together and buy all the bus there, when we see all the sign them, it's like it's a sense of pride well up in me, me not there, but me feel like me a part of the crew and feel like me a part of the team, and it's like me just feel great pride and joy out of it, man. So these are the things,
Just like on the field, win the cricket and play on the team, I like on the dip on the team.
Yes, man. So Meadowbrook give you that family feeling there, that family.
And thanks for reminding me about this.
Yeah. And that was how. Sorry for those. That was how me start off going to Meadowbrook, because as I tell you, it's like my school is just there. A Whitehall Avenue there, so from Meadowbrook High School, and my mother did just work in a Havendale there, so and me did just live up there, so already. So it was like family area in my community, and then me come at the school now and get that same feeling and that same bond, and even knowing more persons now too and all of that. So it's like, yeah, man, it was like a whole family thing. It started over there, and even now, me still feel strongly in that regard.
We still look forward to the family connection. I made a book same. We know that feeling. But I just say, thanks for reminding me about that. The last couple of times I forget to talk about it, but the homecoming I come up July 31 with Ray Goodman and Brown and
no, it's like a week, It's like a week.
All right, correct me. Go ahead. Talk about it, Dandy.
So it's an entire week of events.
Starting from when to when?
All right, go again. It's really the last week.
In July.
In July, there's going to be a play. Usually it's a play, a business meeting. I mean, remember, right now I don't remember the exact days that the events are going to fall on, but I know there's a special concert for July 30th.
Sizzle Fest.
Sizzle Fest,
Stevenson.
Yeah, you didn't big it up when they up on the radio.
Yes, man.
You know about it. Sizzle Fest.
Yeah, man. Carl did send me one flyer and thing of it.
Carl McNair.
Yes.
She talk to me and she come tell me her story and come big up and come
talk about because that you see Dirk Dua, who was one of our former schoolmates.
Cricketer too. Him play on your side to Jelly.
Yeah, man, was part of the team.
Yeah, man.
He was part of the squad,
Yeah. His wife is actually our general manager, managing director. So that's how Carl reached out to me now, because at one point, couple of years ago, we had one function there, and I was asked to, link up and see how we could get some promotion, and she gave us some free ads and thing,
That's how they needed link at them time there.
Yeah, so
I needed link.
Yeah, man, Carl had asked me to link her to see what we can get done for this event coming up, So yeah, man. So that's how we did get that link and interaction, and she did send me the flyer and thing. So since that time, now I mentioned it on the radio a couple times, So I look for see what response we will get back here now.
Yeah, so
I figure it's positive because, as I say, our husband are part of the team too, and
yeah.
So any opportunity we get to talk about that for me to mention the thing. So the first time we have a homecoming thing, I Meadowbrook the way.
No man, it has been
it happened before, man.
Staple. It has been a staple in our thing since 2010. So
it's a 1 week event.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, 1 week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't remember. I did attend one in about 2012.
Right.
For my son at the time.
Yeah, man.
We did attend one in 2012.
Other year they wouldn't win. Gosh, sure they win the sports day that year.
Yes, man.
It's a whole week worth of event. I hear you.
Yeah, it's a week event.
I've been to one, so I don't have a clue. I'm without a service for a while, but should the card me reach out to me and want to big it up for her and tell her.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Save a date for her, July 12th. She for come on with some people. She reach out back to me for come on, so.
Yeah, man.
Whenever she ready, she can come on. That date they ready open for her just a week or so before just come on.
Before, right.
Come give her memories and just talk about. We give her more time than this to talk about the upcoming event and talk about what
event.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, man.
Don't promise her that already, so when ready for come on. So when you talk to her back, Shane, you tell her
man.
The invitation.
Just remind her.
Yeah.
For the 12th.
Tell her about that try for come be her memory. I don't know, big thing.
Yeah, man.
Then I got to take him time, same way. So anyway, gentlemen, this has been a pleasure. I'm glad we do that one here because we start this and people might think they are sports people alone. And now when you hear Shane, when you realize it's not about sports.
Yeah, man. Another sports alone, man.
It's about Meadowbrook and it's memories and memories.
Yes,
and that's what I deal with that. So it's a I said to you. So, and everybody have memory. Anybody who tell me say them not have memory, them not about, and those people not around, we're going to find a way to talk about for them memory. Because we have some man who are going to come up where not they have to tell them story, I'm going to find them friend to tell them story. So it's a I said to you. So
yeah, man.
I just remember here, my brother.
The memories continuous, man, because even the people who come through the Dr. Morris era, them still have memories of the Spanner era, even though maybe some of them probably never even did know Spanner because of the interactions and what them been hearing over the time. Because even as a youth, when me come a Meadowbrook there in 79, Top was just coming out and Spanner was just coming in. But then you heard the talk of some of the exploits of Mr. Top from back then. So it's like you feel like you're part of the whole thing from before even the McLennan era, I
think it, even far back than that, I make some connection, where have some people that come up, a lady and a man, I may never release the name or nothing, where start Meadowbrook in 1961.
Yeah.
You hear me at this? That's so far back me I go. It's like Meadowbrook start 58. Yeah, exactly.
Because Meadowbrook start 58.
So in the early group, them want to start have the conversation about this year. Because the conversation, they may look forward to somebody so what Meadowbrook was like in those days, So it's what a wonderful opportunity at Meadowbrook for this year because enough school don't have people around from the original time, and we do.
Right.
And we want to document it in a way where I say, right. So I look forward to them conversation there for come up.
I have a couple of people who I recommend. I'm in touch with a group them out from the 60s, early 60s.
Yeah, man. You talk to me about that after thing. Maybe I the same group then, but definitely because
yeah, man. We have a couple of people.
Yeah, man. I'm not shy away from nobody, man. And if they want to come in a group or by a singlet, not really matter at all, but memory. I just some memories here, my brother. I just that me talk about. It's not about.
All right, man.
You see me, I said to me, know the sports are the motivating thing. Cause that motivate me to come start to this because I know so what are the big things at Meadowbrook. I'm not nobody never want to talk about it. I'm gonna say me not talk about me. I talk about the whole of the man who play sports away and big way up and put up on the map in a big time way in the 80s. And the duplicated since. I mean, I say that need for talk about, but we realize it's more than that. But
It's for talk about though.
That for talk about, Dante, because that's the foundation. That's the
big thing, big thing.
That's what make you feel proud. That's why a man look at and say, and give bragging rights. You can tell a man as Shane I say, man from Calabar come at the station and say, you know, my school they beat you up. So it's like I say,
man. Man. Yes, man.
I can't talk to you a certain way. It's a message.
I tell you another thing too, you know, if you look back into it, you know, even this thing here where you do, Jelly, where you get this opportunity to a whole heap of people to relive them school days and memories, and it's a big thing for all people, you know.
Yeah, man.
And the truth is, in my mind, it would have to take a sportsman to come up with something like this. To be honest with you.
I think outside of the box, that is true. That's true.
That's just how it is. You know what I say? You have to have that kind of aptitude.
Man, you're right. You're right, Auntie. I'm going to play sport and look and say, and enough ways we can do this, you know, we can bowl out that team, enough ways we can try this.
Yeah, man.
And as we say, it's an honor to be on, you know, because, you know, you know, say, all right, yes, me there, you know, and me can, you know, share my version of things then, so to speak, you know, Meadowbrook as it is, you know, so yes, man, it's a great pleasure and an honor, man.
Yeah, man, the honor is all mine, Shane. Trust me, anybody will come talk to me, the honor for me, because
yeah, man.
Me just see it as an honor for a man come on and talk him, share him conversation. Come spend him Sunday evening and talk with me, and we go through. Because I just talk where I talk. And I'm a big thing. Anyway, gentlemen, 3 hours, you know, so we love this.
All right.
We talk. Dante, me in touch with you about if I go to something tomorrow, but me make you know and see what the time work. And we talk.
Yeah, give me a link.
Yeah, man, me do that and share. Big respect, my brother. Big respect. I'm the first man meet you, but trust me, I love this. Big respect, my brother.
Thanks, man.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Yo.
Yeah.
Blessings in a Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for listening to Meadowbrook Memories. And remember to give us all the support and encouragement you can on whatever social media platform you are listening. And special thanks to my production manager, Kyle Prince, who takes care of everything involved in getting the podcast out every week. And without him, this podcast would not be possible. It is his expertise that allows me to do what I love doing every week, having great conversations about Meadowbrook Memories, and he's responsible for everything else. So again, thanks to my production manager, Kyle Prince.